Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Vinyl. And I think we'll just move this over just a little bit. Just a little bit.
You want me to scoot over? There
we go.
That's better.
You're already in my
I mean, I really don't want to get any closer to you, Ed, so I'm glad you can do that.
So, as always, Friday Night Vinyl is brought to you by Red Solo Cup.
There it is.
And the magic contained within. And tonight, as a special feature, I once again have taken the Steve Perry T-shirt challenge.
You have?
I have made a prediction here.
You got the shirt handy in case you got to wear it?
No, not tonight. I will wear the shirt through the whole show next week.
Oh, God, okay.
If this prediction here is incorrect,
okay,
it will be revealed when it.
Is it like a certain group of
it's just
Let's Scratch and Fix that we're doing?
It's your prediction? It's a prediction.
Okay.
And
does it pertain to me in any way?
There's just.
But it's all about you. I'm sorry.
It's all about me.
I don't know why
I want to thank you and Bill for getting me this shirt. I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet, and forcing me to wear it tonight.
Was who? Wasn't me.
Well, you guys got this from me. It's like
we did.
Okay, I got it for myself because I have issues. Roy, glad you're with us. So anyway, not next week, but in 2 weeks, we're going to have our Friday Night Vinyl album draft. And again, just to let you know,
2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. Wow.
And what we're going to do is we are going to draft, me, Bill, and Lenny, our top 10 albums from. We figure we're not going to pinpoint those year credentials.
It's Bill, Lenny, and I.
It's the guy named Ed, Lenny, and Bill. And for those watching the Flyers at home.
Right.
That being said, so what we're going to do is draft our 10 albums, and we're also going to have an audience draft afterwards, and we're still working on a couple things, and I have a few ideas.
Yeah, we had some audience participation last year.
Yeah, we did a draft last year, so it'll be fun. That's in 2 weeks. I'll probably private message some people and just say, hey, if you're interested, this is how we do this. And
we had a lot of fun with it last year, so if you guys want to take part.
Yeah, so it's
that time again?
Well, There's a little sad news about Michelle, our co-news anchor.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, she couldn't make it tonight.
No, she couldn't make it tonight. She was.
I think she had previous engagement with a Pole, and not a Polish person. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to see. I wanted to see where you were going with this, because these days we have to be politically correct and safe.
Okay.
Yes. No. She had to study for her master's degree
in lap dancing.
Yes. Okay.
So anyway,
so I think we're going to go to our next segment. And what is that next segment called?
This day in rock history. No?
Scott, welcome. We got some good stuff tonight. Things that I think are going to keep people's interest and not have them like fame on this. There's going to be comments. There's going to be battles.
Yes.
Once again, I think.
And of course, I'm always right.
And
I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right.
I can't point to my shirt.
No, you can't.
So let's go. Let's go to this day in music.
Man, that is a long walk to the new studio. Like, we got to shorten that up a little bit.
It is.
I know I say that every week, but Jesus God.
So I'm all excited. I'm all excited about this day in music, not to be confused with music news
or this day in rock
It's something
history.
that happened today. Well, it sort of is.
It's
this
something
day
that
in rock
happened on
history.
this day, but in
Yes.
the previous year.
Yes.
Basically.
Right.
Okay, but we can't explain all that in that. There's not enough room on the screen.
Not enough room.
Okay, so anyway, today is Friday, April 13th. Friday the 13th.
I know. You know, we forgot the Jason theme. I forgot to wear
That's
my
right,
golden
yeah.
mask.
It would have been an improvement.
But I could still do the stabby. Yeah.
Please do that early in the show.
Yes.
This way Bill can sit here.
And it's good to know Scott is excited. Scott, you may need to simmer down some.
Simmer down now, Scott.
We don't want to build you up too high and then let you down. It's like, So anyway.
Okay, let's go on with the news.
Now, this day in music.
This day in music. It's April 13th, 1957. Elvis Presley's "All Shook Up" went #1 on the Cashbox bestseller list and the Billboard Pop chart, where it would stay there for the next 8 weeks. All
Nice.
shook up.
Very nice.
All shook up. Okay, 1962, April 13th, the Beatles kicked off a 48-night booking at the Star Club in Hamburg, Germany. During their stay, they will record 2 tracks with Tony Sheridan, "Sweet Georgia Brown," and "Swanee River." Ooh, but whether I don't know why Swanee River. I don't know. I looked at that. I was like, whoa. Why would they record that? So anyway, 1963, April 13th, "Surfing USA" by the Beach Boys was released in the United States, where it will become the group's second Billboard chart maker, reaching #3. The song was a note-for-note copy of Chuck Berry's "Sweet Little 16," but just with new lyrics.
Right.
After Berry sued, he was granted royalties, and all further issues of the song gave him writing credit.
Yeah, I mean, well,
After
there's A, D, and E chord structures, and for those it's A, it's D, it's E, it's like, and
Okay.
there's a lot of songs with those chord structures, but yeah, they did the same rhythm and
Right, and they just changed the lyrics. Yeah. Okay. So, 1967, April 13th, police in Poland used tear gas and batons to control several thousand teenagers who turned out to see the Rolling Stones' first show behind the Iron
in
Curtain.
Polski.
In Polski.
Oh, but it was the Iron Curtain Polski.
The Iron
so it's
Curtain
not,
Polski.
So it's not my new country.
It just said police in Poland. It didn't say
Policia.
Policia. Yeah. Okay. So April 13th, 1974, Elton John reached the top spot on the Billboard single chart for the second time with Benny and the Jets. It made #37 in the UK. Okay. Who cares about the UK, right? April 13th, 1974. We're staying in the same year.
So that would be this day, April 13th. We're doing this day in music.
Yeah, so it would be April 13th, which is today, but in 1974.
So what I'm thinking, just to save you some talk,
Okay.
you don't have to mention on April 13th.
I know, but I just want to keep on,
Okay.
just for people who are just joining in.
Just read the shirt.
Just
That's all
people
you,
are just
that's
joining
all
in,
you need to know, right?
Okay. So now I lost my place. Oh, here we
I'm
go.
sorry. It was April 13th.
April 13th, 1974. Paul McCartney's LP "Band on the Run" topped the Billboard album chart. It went on to sell over 6 million copies worldwide. Interesting, because that may be coming up in our show.
It may be.
Maybe. 1980, April 13th, the 1950s musical Grease finally closes its Broadway show after 3,883 performances and earning over $8 million. The show ranked 12th on Broadway's all-time appearance list. But that was in 1980, I assume.
I was wondering if that written there is like meaning cats or whatever, or at that time.
Probably, I'm assuming it's at that time.
Yeah.
It ranked 12th, whatever. Okay, so 1983, April 13th, Peter Farndon, bassist of the Pretenders, on their U.S. Do I do a shot? Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Did I pronounce his name right?
Yes, no, you did.
Oh, okay. Okay, so he's bassist for the Pretenders.
I think he's dead.
On their U.S. top 20 hits, Brass in Pocket, and Back on the Chain Gang. Died of a drug overdose. He was 30 years old. By the way, Flyers 4, Penguins nothing. For those of you who are watching us
Where
and
did
not
you
watching
get
the
the
game,
update?
I got it on my notification.
Oh,
4-0. Okay, 1985, We Are the World, the Quincy Jones produced product effort that raised millions to help feed starving people in Africa, topped the Billboard singles charts. 45 artists that recorded the effort on January 28th were asked to check their egos at the door. They were check their egos at the door when they recorded this. So in other words, even though we only want you to sing one word lyric of the whole song, that's what you're going to do. I don't care how popular you are. I guess that's what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
1984, April 13th, Billy Joel and Christy Brinkley announced that they had separated after 9 years of marriage.
Hey, he hung in there for 9 years.
He hung in there for 9 years, yeah. Or she hung in there for 9 years. 2002, April 13th, 23-year-old Nora Jones made her TV debut on CNN International's The Music Room. She would go on to win 9 Grammy Awards and sell over 50 million albums worldwide. Nora Jones.
Yes, nice.
And she also was named Billboard named her the top jazz artist of the 2000 decade.
Oh.
Top jazz artist. Okay. 2003, Madonna struck back at online peer-to-peer pirates of her new album American Life by flooding file-sharing networks with decoy files.
Oh, that was with the Rootkit, I think. Okay, go ahead.
Those who downloaded tracks from such services as Kazaa were greeted by the voice of Madonna asking, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" Okay, April 13th, 2003. Also, for the first time since Jimmy Carter was in the White House, Leonard Skinner had a hit single on the radio. Rock stations across the country played the band's Red, White, and Blue, an anti-protest song that included the line, "If they don't like it, they can just get the hell out."
It's 4-1.
The song's success prompted the band to rush out its new album, Vicious Cycle, in May. I saw that. Let's see. 2005, April 13th. Johnny Johnson, a rock and roll pioneer who teamed with Chuck Berry on Rock and Roll Beethoven and No Particular Place to Go, died of natural causes at the age of 80. No hemorrhages there.
No hemorrhage. Natural causes.
Natural causes. 2008, April 13th. Clifford Davies, drummer of Ted Nugent, who played on his track recording Cat Scratch Fever, was found dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound in a suburban Atlanta home. 2008.
Oh, okay, it's late. Yeah, he's a drummer, you said, right?
Drummer.
Drummer. Okay.
Self-inflicted gunshot wound in Atlanta, Georgia.
I just said the bill that wasn't.
He was only.
I didn't mean that.
He was only 59 years old.
Yeah.
But a bass player probably wouldn't know how to.
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. No reaction from Bill there, though.
And people don't even. Bill's not on screen.
He's not on screen. I know, but we're looking at him.
I know. He's giving us the finger.
I'm not here.
He's giving out both fingers. 2009, Phil Spector was convicted of second-degree murder in the shooting death of actress Lana Clarkson at his mansion 6 years before. The verdict would send the 69-year-old music producer to prison for at least 18 years.
Free Phil Spector.
His former wife Ronnie wrote in her book, Be My Baby, "When I was locked up in his mansion, there were many, many nights where I wasn't sure I'd never get out that house alive." I wonder why.
She wasn't sure she would never get out.
Get out of that house alive.
It's a double night.
I'd never get out of that house alive. That was a quote by her.
She got to get out of this place if it's the last thing she ever does.
Did. Okay, this is kind of interesting.
Okay, kind of.
Kind of interesting. 2009, according to a chart compiled by UK's BBC Radio 2, Procol Harum's A Wider Shade of Pale was the most played song in public places in the past 75 years.
Huh.
Okay. Rounding out the top 10 were, at number 2, Bohemian Rhapsody. Number 3, All I Have to Do Is Dream by the Everly Brothers. Love Is All Around by the Wet.
It's an 80s band.
Wet.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams. Number 6 was Angels by Robbie Williams. All Shook Up by Elvis Presley came in at number 7. Number 8, Dancing Queen by ABBA. Number 9, Magic Moments by Perry Como.
Can we just get some context? You're saying the most
It
played
was
in
the
public
most
places?
played song in public places in the past
Like
75 years.
Over PA systems and
Yeah, public
supermarkets?
places. Yeah, public
Okay.
places. Yeah, McDonald's
Alright.
or restaurants or whatever.
We're talking to voices.
Rounded out at number 10 was White Christmas by Bing Crosby. Ooh,
Right.
interesting. Okay, so in 2011, after learning from the press that America's International Revenue Service, the IRS, had placed a lien on one of their Los Angeles area residences, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne moved quickly to pay off their $1.7 million tax debt. Sharon pointed the finger directly at her financial advisors for not doing their job properly. Or maybe they didn't have enough money in their account so they can do their job.
Yes.
Who knows? Okay, also that same,
Said the accountant.
said the accountant. Also that in 2012, a New York judge ordered Prince to pay $3.95 million to Revelations Perfume and Cosmetics for failing to promote a 3121 line of scents after indicating that he would do so. Never even heard 3121 line of scents. Never heard that. Last but not least, 2012, April 13th, TMZ.com reported that Lionel Richie owed $1.13 million in unpaid income taxes from 2010.
Is it me? Is it me?
Did I owe
or
that money?
too?
Yeah. The debt was insignificant to Richie's bank balance, worth an estimated $200 million.
Oh, interesting.
And you made fun of his song, and that wraps it up, Ed.
Mine
That
over
wraps
cheese
it
has
up.
that hello money.
That wraps it up.
So we're coming back with some really great stuff. Trust me. And we're back. And here's
We're back.
all.
Hey,
all-
Bill, how you doing,
all
Bill?
three of us.
Everybody.
Bill's here. Bill, you had a comment on Nora Jones.
I did. In part of the news, you mentioned Nora Jones, and
Yes.
I can't remember exactly what the story was, but wanted to make a comment that's kind of interesting. I think she's really talented, and I was really surprised to find when she came out. She's actually, isn't she Ravi Shankar's daughter?
Yeah.
That is correct.
She is.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, so what I said during the break was what you were going to. Okay.
Yeah, she won 9 Grammy Awards and sold over 500 million albums,
But-
and she was named the top
But wait.
jazz artist of the 2000 decade.
But wait a
That's
minute.
what it
Of the
was.
2000 decade.
Decade.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
But where is
Decade.
she now?
But there's a bigger point.
It's past the 2000 decade.
She just evaporates.
Well, there's a bigger thing too. Her first album that sold all the albums copies was produced by Glenn Ballard.
That's called a
If you're
callback, everybody.
if you're
for anyone
watching
watched
last week, you'll understand Bill's half-hour diatribe on Glenn Ballard.
you can go to my YouTube channel and
Go to his
see
YouTube
my
channel,
hour and
yeah.
a half discussion of Glenn Ballard's genius.
Kevin joined us. How you
Kevin,
doing,
welcome. I'm sure you're upset that the Flyers are winning.
So what do we have?
He's
So,
a Pittsburgh
here
fan too,
tonight.
aside from a Dallas Cowboy fan.
So, we have our first group of albums, and
We do.
this first group of albums, what we did in this, and once again here it is, confidential. We've done our homework. The first group of albums, we kind of focused on legendary guitar players. Now, you're going to see 3 albums, but there's actually 4 legendary guitar players on these albums, and on one album, 3 of those 4 legendary guitar players actually play on. So, let's
Can you
start
say
off.
that again? Slow it down. I missed it.
Yeah, keep
I'm sorry.
rolling.
I'm sorry.
So,
We can't keep like slowing down people.
so
I missed that. I wasn't following.
are you
It's okay.
are you experienced?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the first album. This was released in 1965.
And sold 5 million
Was it?
copies.
1967. I'm sorry.
1967.
1967. My notes are a little mixed up. Sorry.
Okay, just keep jumping in there though, with the
67.
wrong info.
Okay.
Wheels of Fire, Cream,
1968.
There you go.
sold 1 million copies. And Rave Up Yardbirds, having a rave up with the Yardbirds.
Now, who's that album by?
The Yardbirds.
Okay, 1965. That was 1965.
This one doesn't. I didn't see a sales listing for this album. So
because I think it only sold about 5.
Right.
I'm
And you
sorry.
said 1965.
Yes, 1965.
1965,
Yeah, good.
which is really important to this whole thing here, I think.
Okay.
So, I think on the first two that we're doing,
Okay.
I'm going to go last.
Okay.
Thought we-
The first 2 sets he wants to go last
Oh.
for some reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bill,
You can go.
I can go first. Okay.
we're going to
So-
spend 10 minutes arguing who's going to go.
All right. We should have decided this
telling
before.
you,
We should have did this before the show.
Share my Glenn Ballard notes.
Okay. So anyway, right off the bat, the having a rave up with the Yardbirds. First of all, there's many violations on this album.
So for all of you that don't know, a violation to Lenny is
Instrumentals, and we have the
Instrumentals.
Ben Powell violation of covers.
covers. Yes.
But I don't think there's any cover violations. There's a lot of violations, instrumental violations. And no, there is a cover violation.
There's
on here.
several covers.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, there are.
Yes.
Actually, the majority. My note is the majority.
Oh, I'm
of this
sorry.
are covers.
I missed initial.
Smokestack
yes.
Lightning is a,
Yes, I'm
is
sorry.
a
I'm a-
Howling Wolf cover.
I'm a man. It was
I'm a
that-
Man's a cover.
I'm a man's a cover.
Train kept a rolling, which you were asking me earlier about
Right.
Honey Hush.
And Respectable is the Isley Brothers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this album is a violation.
It's a violation.
nightmare.
But
nightmare.
it was released in 1965, where bands weren't even, including the Rolling Stones, were just starting to write
Right.
their own material.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
It's early in the rock
so
era.
now, Ed, we discussed this on a previous show about Train Kept a Rollin' and
Yes.
Honey Hush. Honey Hush actually had the, I don't know what you would call it,
Right.
Is that a riff or?
Yeah, it's a riff, yep.
Okay, a riff. Okay, so I think the Yardbirds were the first one to incorporate the Honey Hush riff with the Train Kept a Rollin' song.
Right.
When I give him major props for that, that's about the only thing I can do with this album. Everything else, because there's covers on here. There's there's 4 covers, and then there's another live version of a cover. I'm the man. I'm a man. Excuse me. So I'm dumping this. I'm trashing it. I'm burning it.
Yeah.
I mean, totally. I
Enough said.
can't find.
Enough said.
I really
Enough
can't
said
find a
about-
reason to even
Yeah.
think about fixing it.
Yeah. Enough said about
I
that.
can't fix it. I would just trash it and break it and whatever. Okay. So anyway. Okay. Wheels of Fire by Cream. I liked White Room. Singing on Top of the World. And I like Born Under a Bad Sign, which was good.
Very good.
And wait a minute, there's one more on
I'm
here.
proud of you. I mean,
And Politician I also liked.
Oh,
I also like Politician. But I'm fixing this one. There was like 4 tracks out of the 9 that I liked on here.
you didn't mention Crossroad?
I did not mention Crossroad because I don't have it listed on here as
Yeah.
being
And it's
on
a
here.
little song you might have heard of at some point.
I know, but I don't have it
It's
listed.
on side 3.
Side 3.
Yeah, there's side 3 and side 4.
Okay, well I missed that because I only printed 2 sides out on this one. Sorry.
Lenny, do your homework.
So anyway, but I'm blasting Jimi Hendrix.
Mhm.
Jimmy with an I.
Yes.
Purple Haze, Manic Depression, Hey Joe, I Don't Live Today, The Wind Cries Mary, Fire, Foxy Lady. I mean, that's 7 out of 11 that are really. There's one violation on here, Third Stone from the Sun, which is a instrumental. Other than that, it's a great album. Most of his hits are on here, and so I'm blasting that. Fixing Cream, and I'm dumping the Yardbirds. So get it, Bill.
William.
All right, time's mine. I will agree with you on trashing the Yardbirds. Yeah, you pretty much gave what I've got to say about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know where Ed's going with it. It might be a thing of the time. This was 1965. These other albums are a couple years later, and a lot kind of moved in music in those times. The Yardbirds record is just, I don't know, there's just nothing to latch onto for me for that, so I'm trashing it. I just want to make sure, yep, didn't have that.
Yeah.
But then we disagree. So Cream, Wheels of Fire. You went through the songs.
Yeah,
Like-
but
like-
I kind of screwed up. I didn't print out the whole
Right, you
side
didn't
3
see the
and
third
4.
side, you didn't see
Right.
Crossroads.
Right.
For me, so
Well, what else did I miss other than what I missed? Crossroads I missed.
The
Was
Crossroads
there
you
anything
missed.
else?
Actually, the third side is actually some live songs as well.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, 3 and 4 are live from the Fillmore.
yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it didn't print, because they were live.
So no one's mentioned. I mean, Eric. Hopefully our audience knows, Eric Clapton is in this band. But this band's heart is actually Jack Bruce, the bass player, and Jack Bruce is actually, in my opinion, a really underrated bass player.
Yes, I will go with it.
And we'll agree with that. I mean, we all know how much he loves bass players.
I saw Jack Bruce live with Ringo Starr.
Yep, I would have loved to have seen that, because I had a couple of his solo records. I think, again, he's right in the heart of where I think bass should be.
To let you know how valued Jack Bruce was, Mick Taylor left the Rolling Stones to join Jack Bruce's project that he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, he was the thing. One other interesting note I have on this is that so Eric Clapton was in the band, but his only contribution to writing were two cover songs, which is "Born Under a Bad Sign" and I believe "Sitting on Top of the World" from the main sides of the record. So he was on it, and he sounds great. He's playing great guitar on it, but he didn't write anything. This was Jack Bruce's project for mostly. Standout, "Deserted Cities of the Heart." I think that's a great song. And I didn't realize, didn't click, but Jack Bruce had a solo record later on called "Cities of the Heart," which kind of harkened back to this. And Ed, I don't know if you have a track listing in front of you.
Yes, we do.
There's another song that's kind of a standout for me.
We got
Kind of speaks to something that might have happened to me this week. Can you pick out what song that is?
Pressed Rat and Water.
There you go.
Inside
joke. I had a rat experience, and not RATT as in the metal band. Anyway, I'm blasting Cream, Wheels of Fire. Head Experience, what can I say? It's a great record. The one thing I found strange, so the US version and the UK version was different.
Right.
From what I can tell, Purple Haze and Hey Joe were not on the UK version.
That's correct.
So, and The Wind Cries Mary, I don't think was on the UK version.
No, it was not.
Yeah. So, it was really kind of interesting, because, I mean, those are iconic, great songs.
They may have been songs that were recorded right near the end, and they're like,
I did some research, and I still couldn't figure out exactly why they had that much great material that didn't end up.
But then there was another release I came across that had 17 freaking tracks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been put out. I'm talking about what happened in 1967.
Yeah,
it came out in the UK in 67.
Right.
The US, I think, in 67, 68. So those two versions, though, were that different.
Yes.
So,
but I was going off. I made my opinion off of the North American edition, not the UK one.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So I'm fixing it, and how am I going to fix it? Get the freaking track listing right, everybody. Okay.
Yeah,
just get it right. Get all those good songs on one record and put it the fuck.
Yeah, that was kind of confusing.
Yep. Ed.
Okay. So anything that gets trashed in this mix here, to me, is trashed with prejudice, with respect. There's nothing bad here. So let's get to my trash, and then we'll get to my fix. Okay, I am trashing Cream. You have White Room, Born Under a Bad Sign, Crossroads. The other stuff for me was okay. And by okay, I'm comparing it to what I'm comparing it to.
Bill, did we listen to the same? Did we listen to the same records?
I don't think
so. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's have a little detail about the Yardbirds Rave Up. First off, it was 1965.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the guitar players that played on this album were Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, and Jimmy Page.
Great.
Okay,
that's excellent.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That those guys were.
Mister, You're a Better
Yes.
Man Than I.
But does it make it better than the other two records?
Yes, it does.
No, it
in
does
my
not.
opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not talking. Lenny,
I'm not arguing. I'm just explaining why I'm right.
you gave
Boom.
you gave your
Drop the mic.
opinion, and Mister,
And
You're a
it's
Better
wrong.
Man. I'm the man. Heart full of soul. Train kept
Ed,
rolling.
you're not the
smokes
nicest
the
asshole I ever met.
No, well, I try not to be, but I'm definitely fixing.
Wait. So Scott and Robert are with you, Ed. So keep going.
Team Ed is rocking tonight.
You got
okay?
Team Ed going. Yep.
So I mean, this album is great, and not only that, you're getting 3 great guitar players on this album early in their career. This is, I mean, with the exception of Eric Clapton, who's with John Mayall's Blues Breakers, this is probably like the second thing he was involved with, and this is a great album
Okay.
for 1965. You have to put that in perspective, and I think
Right,
that's
and
what Scott
Scott's
Silverman was
making
saying.
that-
Okay,
you have to understand.
Okay,
but we're
I
not
know,
doing that.
I
We're
understand.
comparing him to the other
I
two
understand.
albums in our group.
I am
We're not
understanding.
comparing it to other 1965 releases.
But
We're
to me,
comparing it to.
without the Yardbirds
Cream,
album,
and we're-
you wouldn't have Cream and you wouldn't have
But it do-
Hendrix. Sorry.
It doesn't matter.
Okay? I am blasting Hendrix because, I mean, seriously. Foxy Lady, Manic Depression, Red House, Fire.
Well, that I can't. I can't. I don't
These are-
disagree with that.
There's gonna be
too many good songs on
Yes,
this.
the
So we
weird
were
thing is
disagreeing
this is
across
the
the board.
the
None of us agree on
unusual
this.
songs on it's like the third.
Well, we
third
both
Stone from the
blasted
Sun.
Hendrix.
Yeah.
We just
Exactly,
flip flop
but
the other. Yeah.
no three of us agreed.
No,
on
not on all three.
everything.
Yeah. Right,
No,
right.
Third Stone from the Sun is
But for Ed and I, just
Yeah.
to hit on one of the three, it's pretty
Yeah,
damn good.
exactly. It's
yeah,
an event.
it's
Mark this date on your calendars.
Yeah,
every-
right.
so
yeah.
I am blasting Hendrix because you have to blast Hendrix, but I am fixing Rave Up. And you know what? Maybe
Have
I'm
you fixed-
bringing in Mick Taylor also. Maybe I'm
It just
you
didn't
know.
do anything for me, that album. I don't
You know,
know.
but you're not a musician.
I'm a musician.
I got ears.
You're a bass
But I got
player.
ears.
Oh!
Oh, wow.
He volleyed that
We're
one.
gonna,
Yeah,
we're gonna,
yeah.
yeah. I just set that right up for him to go boom.
I understand all the
right
great guitarists were on the Yardbirds, but I have
So,
ears.
so you're trashing.
I have
your
ears. I
supplier.
listened to it, and compared to the other two albums, it just didn't do anything.
All right, so let's move on to our next group. The next grouping, we featured a little person called Paul McCartney.
He's
And
a little wide. He's only like
Wings.
5'2".
I
right?
think he's like
Okay.
like 4'9" or
4'9".
something like that.
Yeah.
So, the first album we have up here is an album called
Band on the Run was a 1973 release, and these are all Wings.
These are all Wings. They weren't Paul McCartney Wings. They were
They were
called
just the Wings. The Wings are
Denny
Wings.
Lane, who was also famous prior as an original member of the Moody Blues.
Yes,
who had a
yes,
hit
Scott.
with-
I am a product of the 70s. Yes, but I also have ears and I listen. And
Oh, wow.
that's all I could say.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
there
all
are-
I could say.
There are no.
But I
old
swear to God,
bards
that's all I could say.
I swear to
my
God,
friends.
Scott, somebody got Q-tips and went up to him with those ears, went pow, like that. Okay.
Wow.
Number
Okay.
two.
There's no way you couldn't blast Jimi
All
Hendrix
right.
out.
Well, let's
out
get
of
the
it.
let's
Okay,
get
I'm
these
sorry.
records. Let's get
Venus
these.
Venus and Mars,
Hey.
1975.
Yes. Oh, you know what?
Another Wings album. They're
The
all
first
Wings
Band
albums.
on the Run sold 3 million copies.
Yes.
Venus and Mars sold 1 million copies. And
Wings at the Speed of
Sound,
was 76.
and that sold 1 million copies.
And I believe, Ed, these were consecutive albums by them.
Yes.
I believe.
And I think we'll let Bill, since you went.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
going-
Bill, you can
I'm-
go.
Yeah, I'll
You
go.
can hit
I'll
this.
go. You know, so overall note for me on this is I haven't listened to Wings in a long time. Have you guys listened to Wings?
No, much.
Yeah.
No. Back in the day, I did.
Yeah.
But I
In
haven't
fact,
listened
I,
to
I,
Venus
own,
and
I own
Mars.
at least one of these.
Yeah, Venus
I
and
have
Mars.
yeah.
Venus and Mars, me and him used to listen to all the
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So my first overall note is Wings is a lot better than I remember them. Honestly, like back in the day when I listened to them, you know, again after they came out, but I was like, whatever. Wings is good. These
Yeah.
are good records. These are all pretty good records.
Out of the four Beatles solo efforts, Paul McCartney, I think, probably had the better. For me, Paul
Yeah.
McCartney had the better solo efforts than
I would,
all of them.
I would
Overall,
not
overall.
disagree with that. So here's one note that I had that seemed strange to me. So Band on the Run, 1973. This is the third solo record with Wings, and the note that I saw was it's his fifth solo record since the Beatles broke up in 1970.
Yeah, because you have McCartney, you had Red Rose, Speedway,
you had Ram. Right.
He
and
did
remember.
8 records between 1970 and 1973.
but back then people were putting out 2 albums a year.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
apparently he did. I mean,
Yeah.
so that note doesn't seem strange to you guys. You're like, yeah,
No,
sure,
no.
of course, okay.
The fact that it takes 3 years per album now is strange.
Well, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah, we were
was just
used to
amazed.
every 6 months.
Every
somebody
6
coming out
months,
with
yeah.
something.
It really shows that McCartney, after the breakup of Beatles, was
We-
like, I'm going. Like, you know, put the pedal to the metal. All right. So, Band on the Run, 1973, recorded in Lagos, Nigeria. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
No.
By Glenn
So
Ballard.
he wanted to go to an interesting place to record, so they decided on Lagos. But the story is, so they got there and they found out that Lagos, Nigeria, is a pretty crappy place, and the studio apparently was a mess as well.
So who scoped that spot out? For you?
I have no idea.
Somebody,
I think they got
somebody
fired.
that didn't like Paul McCartney.
He and
probably.
Linda actually got mugged on the street, And they ended up recording some tracks there and then moved back to London to finish it up. Of course, you got Jet, Band on the Run hits off of that.
Right.
Bluebird, I really like. Miss Vanderbilt, Let Me Roll It, I like. Side 2, though, to me is kind of meh. So I'm fixing Band on the Run, work on side 2.
You got an ant on side 2?
Yeah.
There wasn't any notable songs? Now, do you have the U.S. release version of this?
Yeah.
You have
when I do-
Helen Wheels on your track listing?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
1985, you have that on here too?
I do.
Okay, all right, just checking. Just checking.
These are
Okay.
all opinions, folks.
Okay, all right, no, just making sure.
So Venus and Mars, 1975, recorded in New Orleans partially. Great
New
city,
Orleans,
great
yeah.
town.
Nolans?
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 N-A-W, anyway.
Yeah, Nolans.
I love this record. I listened to it like maybe once back in the day, and when I listened to it earlier this week, I love it. I'm blasting it. I'm blasting Venus and Mars. That leaves me Wings of the Speed of Sound, trashing it. I'm trying to look at my notes on this.
So you're fixing Band on the Run.
Fixing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not trashing
Oh,
it.
okay.
I'm fixing it, saying like side 2 punched up a bit. Obviously,
Gotcha.
you have some notes on side 2 that you have.
Well, it's
disagree
not
with.
notes, it was just
Some
observation.
opinions.
Just an observation.
I really didn't like Speed of Sound much at all, so I'm trashing that.
Okay. So you're going last, right?
Yeah, you're done.
Okay, so real quick, Bill, I agree with everything with the Blast, Trash, and Fix. I'm in
Oh,
agreement.
wow.
Well, probably maybe for different reasons, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool.
So anyway, I mean, I'll go with the dumb first. Wings at the Speed of Sound. There's a lot of sappy crap on this.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Let 'Em In, Silly
You know, I
Love
didn't wanna say it,
Songs.
Silly
I
Love
mean,
Songs. I was like,
I have them checked off as decent songs. Beware My Love is a good song. I like that. Beware My Love. Wino Junko. I don't know if was that a cover, Wino Junko, Ed?
No.
I mean, it wasn't written by McCartney.
Scott's a fan of Band on the Run, so
Okay.
Scott. I mean, I'm not trashing it. I'm just saying we could.
Time to Hide, I got checked off as a decent song. That was a Denny Lane song. I mean, I got 5 songs that, you know, but it's a sappy, poppy kind of thing for him. That I'm dumping it. I mean, there's 5 songs I like. There's also 5 songs I like on Band on the Run, but I'm fixing that. I mean, I'll note that the songs again: Band on the Run, Jet, Bluebird. Let Me Roll It was like a second-tier song for me. I loved Helen Wheels. Now that was an additional track only on the U.S. release.
Oh,
It wasn't on the UK
maybe
release.
I didn't have that then.
And 1985 was a song I really like by him. So I'm fixing this. I mean, I like 5, and that's only because Helen Wheels is included on here, which kind of ties it with it. But because of the sappy stuff on Wings at the Speed of Sound, I'm fixing Band on the Run.
And you're blasting.
Blasting Venus and Mars. This is a really great.
Isn't it great?
Great album. Like, I owned it. Ed and I listened to it repeatedly back
When
in the
we were kids,
day.
yeah.
75.
On
we
your
were
porch with
we were
the-
14, 15 years
Yeah.
old.
So like Rock Show. It's kind of fun, but it's kind of throwaway, but it's a great song.
Yeah,
It's a great
the
song.
lead into Venus and Mars in the rock
Yep.
show. You know what I mean? Love and Song is a good one.
Yep.
Magneto and Tanian Man is a fun song.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Letting Go I really like. Spirits of Ancient Egypt, Medicine Jar, Treat Her Gently, Listen to What the Man Said, which is probably only the sappy song, poppy song on here.
Right.
You know, but they had too many of that on Wings of the Speed of Sound. So I'm blasting Venus and Mars.
Actually, I wanted
So we're in
to
agree- we're in agreement.
I missed that one thing that I wanted to say. They closed with an instrumental called Crossroads.
Yeah, and that was a violation. I'm sorry, thank you. That was a violation.
Well, so they have an instrumental, so it's a violation.
It's a violation.
for
It was
Lynn.
only a minute.
That's a violation for me. How can you name a song freaking Crossroads?
Crosswords Theme, it's called.
Oh, sorry.
Crosswords Theme.
All right.
Theme.
There's already an iconic song at this point called Crossroads.
So that's why they threw the theme next to it. It's
Uh-huh.
Crosswords Theme.
Anyway.
Roy, hold your goddamn horses, okay?
Oh, wait, what did Roy say? Team Glenn. Wow.
Earlier
Okay.
tonight, if you started from the beginning,
You predicted that we'll all be in agreement?
I made a prediction.
Oh, interesting. Oh, wait, this is the prediction.
Now, just so you
It
understand,
comes early.
when I
It
make
comes
these
early.
predictions, I've only made them once before, and I was wrong, okay?
And he had to wear the shirt.
And if I am wrong with my prediction, I have to wear a Steve Perry shirt the whole next week on the show.
Which
okay?
I purchased for you.
Which he purchased for me because he
Generously.
doesn't like me.
Right.
So my prediction tonight just happened to be.
Oh wait, that you and Lenny are going to agree on Venus and Mars. I bet that's
No.
We knew he knew we were going to blast that.
That we would all trash Wings at the Speed of Suck.
Well,
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can pick one
Jesus.
album.
Well, you
I mean, if
you started scaring me a little
But
bit.
if you
That's
predicted
like
that we would blast, trash, and fix the same 3 albums, then that would be even a better prediction.
wow.
Which I hope that
Predicting that
which
we
I
all
hope that you're doing.
Predicting that we all,
All right,
trash
which
a
I hope-
shitty
First off,
record.
Really?
first off, Wings at the Speed of Sound, like he said. I mean, and
You
the
have
fact
to,
that
you have to
the
wear
fact
that
that you
shirt
have, the fact,
anyway now.
the fact no.
Scott says Venus and Mars, great song to sing while you're sitting in an arena waiting for the show to begin.
Nice, Scott.
In a sports arena, isn't it? It's in a sports arena. Yeah. Okay.
So I
Something
listen to first off, Wings at the Speed of Sound. I mean, sound's supposed to be upbeat. Sound's supposed to be fast. There's no speed on this. This is like it should be called Wings at the Speed of Snail, because
At
this
the
album,
speed of sappy.
like you said, it was just. I was first off.
It was
Let
sappy.
'Em In and Silly Love Songs.
Yeah, it was-
is when I was ready to slip my wrist. That's when I
Yeah.
I checked out with Paul
It was
McCartney
like
at that.
It was like when I listened to that album, it gave me a toothache. That's how sweet
Yeah.
it was.
Okay.
Nice. I like that reference.
I went through all this and I'm like,
Good job.
you know. So for me, I'm going to cut through the chase here.
You got diabetes after?
I'm
Yeah,
going,
and I got diabetes too.
I am fixing Band on the Run, and the only reason I'm blasting Venus and Mars, because Venus and Mars,
in agreement.
we are all in
We're on
agreement
agreement.
here,
Now that
okay?
would have been a better prediction than just that one album.
Well, because I can understand.
I
Band
think
on
he
the
should
Run
still wear the shirt next week.
I am wearing the shirt.
We're going
I
to take
still
this to
think-
committee,
I still
everybody.
think
We're
you
taking
should-
this to committee.
I still
If
think you
Bill's
should wear
here,
the
I'll
shirt.
wear the shirt.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Bill, under pressure, pal.
yeah.
Every time I try to get out, they keep bringing me back in.
So I'm blasting Venus and Mars, and I think the difference between blasting Venus and Mars and not Band on the Run is, I think Band on the Run was kind of like they were almost there, but it was a really good album.
was good.
But they were almost there, and I think when they hit Venus and Mars, they really
Yeah.
they had it all together. And I just
song.
so I'm blasting Venus and Mars, I'm fixing Band on the Run, and I'm trashing.
We're in agreement.
Wings at the Speed of Sound. So wait, okay, all right. So I got okay, T-Med also. Yeah, you gotta wait till
Of course you're a T-Man because we all agree.
No, well,
You're
no,
Team
well,
everybody.
Wait,
No,
that's a
Roy.
Scott, that's a violation.
That's a
You can't-
violation.
Scott can't say Team Scott.
How do
Team
I?
Scott.
How
You
do I?
can't vote for yourself,
How
Scott.
do
Sorry.
How do I fix?
How do you fix what?
Band on the Run.
How do we fix Band on the Run? I
Better
was
songs
just-
on the second side.
well,
Just work it a little bit long. Just like
Yeah.
2 more really solid songs. So they don't need to hit.
yeah, that would be it. I mean, because really, Band on the Run and Venus and Mars.
Like you said, side 2 could have been a little stronger, Bill.
Yeah,
even though
right.
there's 2
Right,
songs.
there's two songs you really
there's
like.
2 songs
that
out of
didn't
5
hit
that I
Hello,
like.
Miss Right.
Yeah.
But there's a few weak stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they have 10 tracks on here. 5 I really liked out of the 10.
Right.
The other 5
But
I
either
were
of the
just
2
at.
albums on their own, I would enjoy listening to.
Right.
Wings at the Speed of Sound will never see my.
No.
It's just right.
Garbaggio.
Right.
Wow. When I was playing this, I'm like, why did I pick this one? You know, it's like so. New feature we are going to be doing next year because it'll help
Next
Oh,
year.
That's right.
next
season.
year.
Next season.
Next season, which, but we're going to start it now just to get it growing. Is we're going to blast, trash, and
Spit
fix
it out.
3 songs. Because what that does is sometimes we want to choose albums, but it has a great song, and that's it.
Yep.
And so we're going to narrow
because
it down.
we make our
Right.
judgment on albums as a whole, not
As a
just
whole.
because there's one great song on it.
Right. So there's a lot of albums we don't
But
include.
back in the day, if
Right.
it had one great song, it would kind of force us to buy the frickin' album.
Right.
Well, that
Because
was the
it's
model.
Right.
you just didn't have a choice back then.
Right. So, for this, now, right now, just because we're just introducing the topic, is
Robert, that's not a bad idea. Make Band on the Run and Venus Mars a double album. And that era, that would
which
be
is
perfect.
usually when we always say take a double album
And make it a
single
single.
album. That's really not a bad idea.
Right.
Robert.
What do we
So-
call it? Venus on the Run? Band on Mars.
But the-
Band on Mars. Boom.
But
there
the
we
pro-
go.
but the
In
prob-
the year
I mean,
2000?
Band on the Run was 73 and Venus and Mars was 75, so they were kind of like 2 years apart. Ed, before we get started,
Yeah.
final score: Flyers 5, Pittsburgh 1.
What if somebody's
Suck it, Cindy Crosby.
Yeah.
We're tied up, baby.
What if somebody's VCRing this game at home? And
Well, it's tough shit.
so, what the new theme? The new thing we're going to do is so we're going to put up 3 songs. Now, we're going to match different.
Sal Con, how you doing, Sal? First
No.
of all, fix it by not listening to it.
Birthday
Happy birthday,
to
Sal.
you. Happy birthday.
All right, you don't have to go through the whole song yet.
No, I want to make him throw up.
Okay.
Happy
Well,
birthday,
you're gonna make me throw up.
dear Sal Console.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday to you, you little knucklehead. See, Mary Beth wouldn't get that. You did, my brother. Okay? Friday Night Vinyl, we go the extra mile. And it has nothing to do with this.
Yes, it has a lot to do with that.
I think we just lost Sal Console. He just checked out. It's like- so, anyway,
I'm ready to check out.
yeah, you can check out, but you can never leave.
Yeah, I know.
So, what we're doing is the first group is 3 songs, and we got to blast, trash, and fix the 3 songs.
And these are just songs, not albums.
yeah,
Yep.
and these are the songs
Now,
we
this
put
is
on
all
the,
by the same group now.
all by the same group,
Right.
which we're going to mix up next season.
Right.
But for right now, we're just giving you an
Let's
example.
do the segment, Ed.
Let's do the segment. So, the 3 songs that we're putting in there for Blast, Trash, and Fix are by that wonderful group, Led Zeppelin. You're welcome, Sal. Good Times, Bad Times, Communication Breakdown, and Black Dog. And
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
he'll go
Okay.
first.
All right. So this will be a little bit quicker. So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
quick.
Good Times, Bad Times, Communication Breakdown, both off of Led Zepp 1.
Right.
Both great songs.
And Black Dog, I guess you could say it's off of 4.
Zofo 4,
Zofo
the
4,
symbols, whatever you want to call it out.
Right. Yeah.
So all classic songs. What do you do with this? So you got to come
Throw
down
them
to
up in the air and whatever.
Yeah, no. Black Dog's a great song, but he says "baby" way too freaking many times.
Oh, there's a nice, yeah. I like that.
Crashing Black Dog, too many babies. Communication Breakdown is jamming. Great. But it's 2 minutes and 28 seconds,
Does he
so
have
I'm
a-
going to fix it.
Make it
think he
longer?
has-
Make it
He
a
doesn't
little bit
have- he
longer.
doesn't have throne
Because
now.
Good Times, Bad Times is my favorite song of these 3. Love it. I was always going to blast this one. It's 2 minutes, 46 seconds. Put a couple more seconds on Communication Breakdown, maybe it'll 1. But no. So fix Communication Breakdown, blast Good Times, Bad Times.
Okay, so let me go real fast.
Yeah.
For me, I'm flip flopping your blast and fix. I'm trashing Black Dog of the 3, and I know Ed, you had said many times, like I know Good Times Bad Time is album 1, side 1.
He's ruining my spiel.
No, I know,
Why do I take
I
notes?
know because I've heard it 1,000 freaking times. That's why. You know, I
been
just
hearing it since
I could do your spiel
1975.
word for word. You know, you don't have to do the show. I can sit here and say what you're going to say. So anyway, but for me, Communication Breakdown, even though it's a short song, it's got a lot of stuff packed into that song.
Like Close
I
to
like
the
it.
Edge.
It's hard.
Same page.
It's hard driving, and so I'm going to blast Communication Breakdown. I'm going to fix Good Times, Bad Times, and I'm going to trash Black Dog. Good.
Well, since Sparky already ruined my spiel, I mean, Good Times, Bad Times. Back in 1969, when you bought this album by this group, and you put that needle down, the first thing you heard was Good Times, Bad Times. First off, so here's the difference. Here's what puts Good Times, Bad Times over Communication Breakdown.
Because it's the first song I've ever heard of.
Now I'm trashing Black Dog.
Okay, we're on agreement there.
It's a great riff. It's a great song.
Right.
Out of these 3, the reason why I choose Good Times, Bad Times, and Communication Breakdown both have great quick guitar solos in
right.
them. But Good Times, Bad Times gives you one little extra thing.
What's that?
It gives you a little bass solo. And I mean,
Oh,
what I
wow.
always say is that little do-do-do-do.
So I'm surprised Bill didn't point that out.
Well, he's a bass player.
Him
They
being
don't-
a bass
they don't-
player.
They don't know much.
And all that.
Ed is well known for his love of the bass solo.
Yes. So for me, you're getting a riff, you're getting a speed lead, you're getting a bass solo.
I just like when Communication Breakdown from start to finish. It's just.
I think we've
just
had a
kicks
communication
ass.
breakdown
It
back.
just
It
kicks ass.
started in 1974.
Yeah, it did, yeah,
and
right, whatever.
Still going.
But
Cool.
I mean,
All right, but
you
I mean,
can't you
well,
can't argue these 3 songs. They're 3 great songs by Zeppelin.
Scott's Team Ed. All right, Scott, we're gonna have to send you some money or
Yes.
liquor or something.
So-
Have to buy you off.
So let me do this here real quick.
We're gonna have a little video break.
Bill, if you want to take a
Yes.
little break for a second, I'm going to just do
Yes.
this. If I will let you stay here.
Sure.
So,
I'll do that.
oh, you're okay. So tonight is our 2-year anniversary of Friday Night.
Oh, it is. It is April 13th.
2 years.
Okay.
The first episodes I did on my own as sort of like testing and getting
Right.
it going.
Right. I came in episode 3.
Episode
for the
3.
first season.
And I'm going to show
Episode
a clip.
3 of 50 something.
Yes.
that we did.
Yeah, the first season 1 was a marathon.
Yeah.
Because we were ready to take a break in the summertime, but Bill said no, keep going because you're just building people, and it's like
right.
So our whole first season was like 56 weeks.
Yeah.
So
And we went through all different metamorphosis.
yes,
Wow, that's a shot.
That is
metamorphosis.
metamorphosis.
Yes, it
It is definitely
Yes.
a-
From our first show. Well, you could see the video Ed's showing. You
Yeah.
could see how far we progressed since the first.
So I'm about
episode.
to show you. It's a 5-minute clip while we take a little break. And coming up, just so you know, we got a bunch of stuff. We got
Yes.
some really good stuff tonight.
We got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah,
tonight.
it's all in the 70s. We're not
Yes.
flipping out into the 80s and 90s.
We
where
got Deep
going-
Purple. We got Aerosmith. We got a whole bunch of stuff.
We have Dio, Thin
Dio,
Lizzy,
right.
Blue Oyster Cult,
Right.
and just to name a few. So the next segment, this little 5-minute video, is Lenny's first appearance on Friday Night Vinyl, and here it is.
Here we go.
Start now, yeah.
Okay, I thought it would be pretty cool that, since you gave me the homework to do, that as you pick your group, go by singer, lead guitarist, and so on down, I have mine written on cue cards, so as you name your people, I'll flip it up and show them who I named and see if we match.
All right, that sounds good.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with singer.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go the 2 guitar players, bass player, drummer, and then I have like
You
one.
got 2 guitar players, I only have 1 guitar player.
Okay.
So I only use the second guitar player at the end.
Okay.
I only have 4, I only got like 4
Okay.
people
All right.
that I kind of,
All right. So
okay.
I named my band the Flamboyants, and as you're going to see, you'll understand why. I mean, first off, to kick it off, I have Freddie Mercury as my lead vocalist.
And let's see what I picked. Yeah, that's mine too. I picked Freddie Mercury too. What a coincidence.
Cool.
Yeah. In
The,
fact, Freddie Mercury was the only, person that was dead on my top 5 list of vocalists that I like. So he was a no-brainer.
Now you said you only picked 1 guitar player,
Yeah, just one
so
guitar
I'll
player.
just get both of my guitar players at one time then. Is that good or?
Sure.
Well, for Flamboyant, I mean, the 2 guitar players, on stage left you would have Jimi Hendrix, and on stage right you would have Prince. You'd have one guy
Right.
lighting the guitar on fire and playing it like this, and the other guy playing his lead and doing splits.
Well, I also picked Jimi Hendrix, so that was pretty cool.
yeah, Jimi Hendrix
I picked
is.
Jimi Hendrix too.
I
So we're kind of 2 for 2 there.
yeah, I was kind of wavering. I was kind of wavering on the.
But Howard said the audio is working fine.
Cool.
So, okay.
Cool, good to know. I was kind of wavering on Frank Zappa, but Frank Zappa wasn't as flashy playing as he was with his structures and everything.
Well,
so I went with Hendrix.
I'll tell you what, as far as Prince goes,
Hey D, what's up?
as far as Prince goes, I really didn't realize how great a guitar player he was until he did that Super Bowl halftime show. And that's when I really saw it, and I was like, whoa, I didn't realize he could play that well.
I'm not a fan of like Raspberry Beret and Kiss and all that, but
Whoa.
I could. Well,
We'll
the
talk
song,
about that later.
Yeah, that'll be another.
Oh,
topic for
you're
another
talking
day,
about the
yeah.
song Kiss, not the band Kiss. Okay.
So obviously my bass player, it's not even. It's pretty under. If you know me, you know I'm going to pick Chris Squire. I mean, he's going to be.
Wow, I had Chris Squire too. We're 3 for 3.
Really? Cool.
That's pretty cool.
We really don't always. We like
Yeah.
same bands and we like same things, but you like this, and
Right. That's amazing, Ed.
that is amazing. I'm going to pause this because there's a couple of things I want to discuss on here. So we're bass players. So one of the things that's funny is like, well, I want to go to my secret agent first. All right, is that all right? Do you need to you're all
No,
good?
I'm good. No.
Okay.
I have the drummer next, so whatever you want to do.
Well, I'm going to do the keyboard player next.
Okay, well, I didn't really pick a keyboard player.
Okay.
So.
The again for the Flamboyants, I have to have Keith Emerson as my keyboard player because
Well, maybe I do have a key. Yeah, you know what? I do have a key. I got 2 more left here, so I do have a keyboard player.
all right, yeah, I got Keith Emerson because he's hey Lisa, how's it going? I have Keith Emerson because I mean this is a guy while Hendrix's guitar is on fire, well
Prince is doing splits while doing a lead. You have, you would have Keith Emerson with his 10-foot move.
The problem is with Jimi Hendrix' guitar on fire, on the floor, and then Freddie Mercury's walking around barefoot. There could be a problem there.
There could be a problem
when he's stomping on the stage.
But they're in heaven now, so
that's true.
They can just walk through the fire.
My bad.
Actually, we don't know if they could have fire in heaven.
That's true.
So that could be the thing.
Okay.
So Keith Emerson
So then
is definitely.
Jimmy will lose his effect up there.
Yes.
With
And believe it or not,
So I like Rick Wakeman. I mean, Rick Wakeman would be my, better than Patrick Morris.
Yeah. Rick Wakeman's a little.
Rick Wakeman's my
shot
pick.
at Ruben Frank, but yeah, the so it's really good. And then my drummer. The funny thing is, I was having a hard time working on like who my drummer was, and believe it or not, Marie, my girlfriend / fiance, she actually was the one that told me Keith Moon, and I'm like, duh, Keith Moon. I mean, you got Keith Moon blowing up the drums, Hendrix guitar's on fire, Prince is doing splits during the solo.
I kind of went with John Bonham myself, Led Zeppelin. I mean, he was,
that's good. I mean,
he was a really good drummer, So.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get Bonham. I was just going with the theme, but if you, if anybody out there has any suggestions as to like some of the
And we're
What's
back,
up, everybody?
Yeah, the posters were cool. It was we didn't have the
That was a
green
long. That was
screen.
a long. Well, it was 2 years ago, but for me, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, and it was.
I mean, I'm like 35 pounds lighter from that time. Thank God.
Good thing.
Thank
It's a
God.
good thing, right?
Yeah,
and
but it was good. We had fun. I'm still having fun doing it.
Yeah, we're tolerating each other. Irma, welcome. Glad you're watching from Orlando. Glad to see you here.
Cool.
And I think Robert, maybe you snuck in if we didn't say hi to you, dude. Hey,
How you doing,
welcome.
Robert?
Yeah, no, Robert.
Thanks for joining.
I think by agreeing with Roy, I think he's agreeing with Team. Oh no, Roy's not agreeing with Team Ed. So anyway,
no. Oh my God. He must have not have gotten your check,
no, he didn't.
or it bounced. Either one.
It probably bounced.
Either one is a very high possibility. Anyway, what do we have next?
So we're
doing next?
dealing
Ooh, we're
dealing
doing
with
it. This should
high-selling
be
albums.
interesting.
We're dealing with high-selling albums.
Yeah.
And we're going to go first with
Money wise,
well, sales-wise.
yeah.
Numbers.
We're doing
High, yeah. When we
Fleetwood
said
Mac
high,
Rumors
1977.
sold
About that one.
20 million copies and became, at that time, the all-time best-selling album ever.
This was 1977.
That was 1970.
Right.
Next album
Tapestry. Carole King, 1971.
sold 10 million copies,
Which-
was the
Yeah.
number one selling album of all time.
Roy said the check bounced.
until
We've all been there,
Not
Roy.
surprised there,
Welcome
Roy.
to the club, Roy.
Yeah.
just remember, I'm the nicest asshole you'll ever meet, Roy, okay?
Those bank fees are adding up, Roy.
Yes. So Tapestry sold 10 million copies and was the best-selling album of all time until it was knocked off
Right.
by Rumors.
Right.
Okay. Now the third album doesn't fit that mix, but the third album is still great.
Yes.
It sold 5 million copies.
This is Boss Gagg's Silk,
Silk
Degrees,
Degrees.
1976.
So,
Yeah, that's what I got.
so I've been going last. So why don't I go first here?
Go for it.
Because this gets me the Team Ed votes early because it seems like
Schmitty, what's going on? Schmitty
Hey,
just
Schmitty,
joined.
Hey,
what's up?
Smitty, Tropicana Field, brother.
Oh,
Flyers, baby.
come on.
Yes, all the way to the next game. So, so for me, this is a rough one because these are three great albums, and it's interesting that we're bringing up Fleetwood Mac Rumors with Lindsey Buckingham this past week.
Right,
Talking about
that's right. Yeah,
News
that's
News.
right. I knew there was
The band
something.
again.
I knew there was something.
He was fired.
Did he leave or was he fired? He was fired.
He was fired.
Okay.
I hear stories that
Wow.
he might not be the greatest person in the
You know,
world.
you got to. I'm sorry. 1 second. You got to consider yourself lucky, Bill. The only
Okay.
person Schmitty said hello to was you.
Billy.
Said,
you
"Hi,
and me,
Bill."
buddy.
That
You
was
and
it.
me.
It wasn't Hey Bill and Ed.
We're just like chopped liver over here, Ed and
Yeah,
I.
yeah.
Ed and I, not me and Ed.
We're all good. We're all good.
I and him.
I and him.
Okay. Jeez, I didn't realize the grammar police was going to show up on Friday night.
Smitty said,
Live.
"Move
Yeah.
to Pittsburgh, Ed."
I could understand the Dream Police showing up, but not the Grammar
Yes,
Police.
Not
they
the
were
grammar
inside of my
police.
head.
Whoa. Ba-dum-bum.
All right, so let's get back on topic here. So, any of these albums to get trashed, it's a travesty. They're all three great albums.
Yeah.
We put them up against each other because
Because it's fun.
it's fun. It's more of a challenge, and we have to do it.
Right.
So I mean, so for me, I went through the albums and I went through the songs, and I mean, for me, Tapestry is a great album, and I know Carole King, I think 2 years ago, was doing a whole album. I wanted to take Murray. We didn't
It was with
make
Jackson Brown, right?
but
It was Jackson Brown and Carole King together.
yes,
Yeah, that was
which is
great.
yeah.
Great
So
combo.
I feel the Earth Move, great song. It's Too Late, great song. You've Got a Friend, great song. Will You Love Me Tomorrow, great song. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, great song. And as a secondary, I also add in Smackwater Jack.
Okay.
And for me, it's kind of like there's somewhat iconic songs, but I really, really, really like Boskag Silk Degrees. What can I say? Georgia, Lowdown, It's Over, Lido Shuffle, We're All Alone. And the rest of the songs, the Jump Street, What Do You Want the Girl to Do, Harbor Lights, these are still
It's over
smooth.
also.
Yeah, it's over. Did I say that?
It's no, you didn't mention it.
It's over. Okay, it's here.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just like, so, out of these two, well, I'm going to tell you that,
So I got a feeling what album you're blasting,
well, I'm
since you're comparing the other
You're
two.
taking these two together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went through it, and as much as I didn't think I would, I have to blast Rumors because you got secondhand news. Dreams, and it's still iconic.
Three-way
Never
tie.
going back again.
Yeah, that's tough. Tough,
Don't
Robert.
stop.
You cannot
Go
Yeah.
go your own way. No, there's no three-way tie. You can't.
We have to do. You guys out there don't have to do this,
Yes.
but we have to.
But if you had to do it, if there was a gun to your head and said, blast, trash, or fix, Robert, I'm asking you, if a gun to your head,
There's
you had to
no
choose,
three-way tie.
do it. So,
So you're blasting Rumors.
I'm blasting Rumors, The Chain, You Make Loving Fun. I mean, Gold Dust Woman, Oh Daddy,
Gold Dust Woman.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. What
But,
a
but
night.
this is
Even
still...
Lenny and Bill
Wow.
have
Well,
some
my
comments on that.
look, my in song.
Holy crap,
My
Ed.
in song is It's like, but I'm not saying it's like a shit song. I'm just saying out of these, the ones I compared. Right, well, I'm blasting this album because I think it's great. I'm trashing Tapestry
I'm-
with really.
You're what?
I'm trashing Tapestry and I'm fixing Boskag's
Oh, okay.
Silk Degrees. And the
Okay.
only way I would fix Silk Degrees
Yeah.
is take a couple songs from the next album and put it on here.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
So Bill, can I go next?
Absolutely,
Because I'm in
yeah.
agreement with Ed on all three.
Okay. Well, I will
So-
be
so
a
that's why-
voice of dissent.
Okay, so that's why I didn't know where you were going with this,
yeah.
but
How about it?
okay. So anyway, Rumors. I'm blasting Rumors. I mean, but I have to preface this by saying
preface.
that I couldn't stand Fleetwood Mac back when this album was released in '77.
Well, I think
Because I was into rock. I mean, we talked about
Right.
this before. We were into Aerosmith, Kiss,
Right.
Queen, Zeppelin, whatever.
Ted Nugent,
Aerosmith, Nugent,
Billy Joel, even though Billy Joel's not as heavy as
so
those,
anyway,
but yeah.
and they won every Grammy Awards. They won every freaking American Music Award.
And these
They won-
songs were on the radio like
right,
ad nauseum.
But anyway, so the grown-up me loves this album, and I'm blasting this of the three. But to contradict Ed's with the
Gold Dust
So-
Woman, yeah,
so I've got 9 songs that I really like on there. Secondhand News, Dreams is good. I don't know where you're going.
Dreams is good. I'm just
Don't
tired
stop.
of it.
Go your own way. I think like the only song that I mean, they got The Chain, You Make Love and Fun.
Songbird.
Great. Song.
I Don't Want You to Know. Oh Daddy, I like. Gold Dust Woman. But Songbird is about the only song I would throw off this whole album of the 11 tracks on here. Never Going Back Again is like a second tier song for me, but it's got a
Still
good
damn good.
Yeah.
good
You know?
Lindsey Buckingham, good picking on the guitar and
Yeah.
everything like that. But
It's like cold pizza. It's
But
not great,
compared-
but it's still pretty damn good.
right, but compared to the other songs on here, I like it, but it's not as good as. So I really like 9 songs on here, and I'm blasting this to
Yeah.
whatever Kingdom Come, whatever you want to say. The other two albums, I kind of had a tie. I like six songs off of each, but I think I just like Boz Scaggs a little better than Carole King. But I like to make a comment on.
I had 6 and 6 too.
I had 6 and 6, but to break the tie,
my God.
I just like Boz Scaggs a little better.
That's just where I was at.
I mean, Boz Scaggs. I mean,
Tapestry is a great album. So that's your.
I mean, We're All Alone, Low Down,
Yeah.
Lido Shuffle, Georgia. What can I say?
Right.
I think I need.
I had this
It's
album-
over. I like that. So off of Tapestry, I Feel the Earth Move So
Right.
Far Away. It's Too Late. It started out really good,
Right.
that album. I mean, the first 3 songs are like boom, boom, boom. I'm sure they
And they're
were
iconic songs,
I'm sure
right.
they were almost number 1 hits, if not
Mhm.
number 1 hits.
Right.
But then it kind of fell off a little bit. But I'd like to make one.
Yes, Boz underrated. Yes.
Yeah, way over yonder. I listened to that song and I was like, I could picture Janis Joplin singing this song.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
I could really picture her
Well,
singing
Carole
this.
King was part of the Brill Building and wrote a lot of songs for a lot of
Okay,
people.
but I'm just
Obviously,
saying, I heard this the
You
way.
Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman was more popular by.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that
Gladys
song.
Knight?
Bond's underrated. I'm sorry. What's that?
You Make Me Feel. Oh, Aretha Franklin or Gladys Knight? Who
What's
did
that?
You Make Me Feel Like a
You
Natural
made
Woman?
you made me feel like
Aretha
a-
Franklin did that.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
People out
Yeah, okay.
there, let us know.
Yeah. So You've Got a Friend. You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. Will You Love Me Tomorrow?
Mhm.
And the first 3 songs, that I mentioned. But like I said, I picture Janis Joplin singing Way Over Yonder off of here. But I didn't like the way she sang it. But I think Janis Joplin sung it would have been a better.
That's an
Better.
interesting.
I
what-
mean, as soon
what
as I heard
happened.
that song, I mean, I wasn't really that familiar with the secondary songs over here. I knew the hits, but re-listening to it, I was like, wow, I could picture Janis singing this song.
One
So
thing-
anyway, but I'm in agreement with you on all 3 of these.
One thing real quick before we go to Bill, because you kind of made the same point. For me, with Fleetwood Mac Rumors, I was the same way with you there.
Right.
And it came down to when the Tusk album came out, I wanted to take this girl, and I knew she liked Fleetwood Mac. It was my drummer's sister, and I'm like, boom. So I got tickets to see Fleetwood Mac. I'm like, you know what? I could tolerate these songs. I know the songs from Rumors and all this
Right.
stuff, and I'm like, all right. And I walked in there, and it was more about her, and I was just like, holy shit. Lindsey Buckingham was
He's an
Fleetwood
amazing
Mac.
guitar player. Yeah.
I was just floored.
You talk
He
about
owned the
somebody
stage
that's
right.
maybe underrated is him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I saw them 3 years ago on their last reunion
right,
tour.
right. Yeah.
And I told Murray, I said, Murray, you're thinking Stevie Nicks is the
band,
deal.
right, yeah.
It's like, no. This is
It's
Lindsey
Lindsey
Buckingham's band.
Yeah.
And that's why, without him in the band now, and I like Neil Finn. Me and Bill have seen
Well, we
Neil
actually
Finn
haven't really
twice.
talked about that. So
Yeah.
if you guys don't know, so Fleetwood Mac has been keyed up to do this final tour. Okay,
Right.
maybe not. And just this week, it came out that Lindsey Buckingham is now out of the band.
What was the reason? Did they give a reason?
That's-
You don't know. I mean, yeah, don't.
Okay, I was just
No.
curious.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the same news too, but I wasn't sure why,
Yeah.
what the reason was.
But it was just like I'd heard about. Oh wow, Fleetwood Mac is doing this massive world tour to end the band, and then this week,
It's like, how can they do
he's
that?
out of the band.
Right.
And he's being replaced by Neil Finn, who, if you don't know Neil Finn, he's from Crowded House
And Split Ends prior to
and
that.
Split Ends prior to that. He's a great songwriter. He's a very good singer. I can't imagine how he's going to fit into Fleetwood
So
Mac.
everybody else, all the original group is there except for.
except for
Wow.
Lindsey
Well, the
Buckingham.
original, the
I mean,
famous,
the famous,
right,
yeah,
right,
the main
right.
lineup, the main
Right.
lineup.
Yeah, Stevie Nicks.
and they're also
Christy McVie, right?
Joe,
Mike Campbell
Fleetwood.
from
Mike Campbell from the
guitar player,
Heartbreakers.
The Heartbreakers from Tom Petty.
Yeah. So he's now in the band too.
Yes.
I just don't know.
You just how can you do a final tour without Lindsey Buckingham?
Right.
Really? Seriously.
Well,
Something
from what I
major
read,
must
the
happen.
talk was that Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood were talking about doing some of these older, obscure Fleetwood Mac songs, and probably I'm thinking Lindsey Buckingham argued and said, how could you do these songs? The people are paying this money; they want to see. But I've also heard stories that Lindsey Buckingham might not be the nicest personality on earth.
I have heard that. I've heard
So,
he's not like
but
the nicest person.
you got to
so.
suck it the frig up if
Well-
you're doing a final tour and he's like one of the main people in the group.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, yeah. So
Difficult, but we'll see what happens. Hey, maybe 2 months from now, Neil, Finn, and Campbell were out, and Lindsay's back. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
So that's enough time spent on Fleetwood Mac.
gotcha.
So anyway, Bill, what's
so
your,
anyway,
what's
I'll
your-
do my thing. So I am in agreement on you on rumors. I'm blasting rumors,
Okay.
and we've all talked about
Right,
it. So
right.
the one note I'll have on that is the Chain is my freaking favorite song.
Yeah, it's a really
love
good
that
song. Yeah.
And the other note on it is that I used to hate. Was it you, Ed, or no? You, Len, said you hated Fleetwood Mac because you were
Back in the
rock.
day.
Right.
When
Back
I was
in
a kid,
1977.
when I was a kid and I was going through back into 70s rock, I hated Fleetwood Mac too.
Right.
I was like, this is freaking garbage, whatever.
Right.
But I was young and stupid, and now that I'm older and for years, decades now, I've understood what a great
Right.
band they are.
Right.
All
Exactly.
right, here's where we disagree. Carole King Tapestry. This album is freaking brilliant, right? So I can't blast it. And you guys don't disagree that it's brilliant, but I'm floored at how great this record is. I've never listened to this record front to back. I know the Carole King songs. I know the main songs that she's known for. Never listened to the song front to back. Here's a little secret, in doing prep for this show, sometimes I'll skip a couple of songs or listen to 30 seconds. I listen to this entire record. It's amazing.
Good.
So I love it.
It is.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know, but for me, the secondary songs off of here wasn't that good.
I
Didn't
don't
do
have-
anything for
Here's the
me.
thing: I don't have a secondary song off of it.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I mean, obviously
All right.
there's first tier and 1A.
and
for me.
that's
See, this is how
Yeah.
it happens. It's like,
But that's-
you don't have to always agree with me, but if your point is valid, like this is, I'm accepting.
and it's
that.
okay, yeah, I understand. and I'm surprising you being
Message to you.
A
you
rock-
being younger than us,
Yeah.
going back to 71 and having that opinion.
Yeah,
It's a little bit surprising.
yeah. I was surprised too because I was
Yeah.
like, oh Christ, I don't listen to Tapestry.
Now for us, Boss Skaggs, he was like,
and so this is
he
not
was
the
he was
select-
he was the
Yo,
This was still a
I
tough
mean,
call for me because
right. Some
I
of his
love-
songs, like you were dating back in the day,
Right.
and some of his
Yeah,
songs were
some have some fun memories.
some fine
I get it.
memories with
I get it.
Boz.
I get
You
it.
know what I mean? So
And hey,
I had Boz on I had this album on
here's how
8
much I
track.
like the Boz Skaggs record. It's great. I know he's touring and he's been touring for the last couple of years. I went up to setlist.fm to check out, what is he playing and when is he coming to town. The crappy thing is his set list these days is
It's not that
garbage.
great,
It's garbage.
Right.
Or else, he's coming to I think the Tropicana or someplace this summer. I would go, but the set list is awful. I'm trashing Boz Skaggs not because it sucks. I really like the record. Everything you guys said, I agree with. It's great.
right.
But between the two, I'll fix Tapestry. And I'll fix it. Here's one question I had: What happened to Carole King?
She got old.
No, well,
No,
I'm
by
sorry.
the early '80s, you know what she was doing in the early '80s? She sings the lead track on the Care Bears movie.
Well,
where's the whole thing with Carole
What
King?
happened?
Carole King
She's
was
a
part
brilliant
of Carole
songwriter.
King was part of the Brill Building,
Yeah.
and wrote a lot of great songs.
Yeah.
Carole King had paychecks coming in that we could only dream of.
So she just kind
All
of was
the
like,
way-
I don't need to write
Right.
my own songs
I can
anymore.
I can live a life. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
so
And
she
that's what
settled. She settled in.
And then
Yeah.
she toured and she headlined the Wells Fargo on doing the whole
Well,
Tapestry
with Jackson
album.
Brown and everything like that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Which was her first tour in years. But
Right.
yeah, that's one thing that shocked me because after hearing how great this was, I looked for like her later records, and then I was like, wow, she
Right.
just went.
There
When
was
she
one
went
couple-
away, and then when
right.
she popped up again, it would be like the fucking Care Bears movie. Are you
Right.
kidding me?
Right.
Anyway, one other note: she worked at the Brill Building.
Hmm?
Neil Sedaka,
Sedaka,
who was also part of the Brill Building, dated her when she was in high school.
Wow.
I haven't seen Wikipedia notes.
Okay.
yeah. Nice.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Okay.
Oh, I guess we're going to move on to the next
Yes, we
segment.
can. Yes.
Any notes? Oh, shoot. Any notes going on here?
So, we're for the next segment here, we took bands that we haven't discussed on here.
Ima Vinalia? Does anybody know Ima?
Irma.
Irma.
Yeah,
Welcome,
we
Irma.
acknowledged her.
Oh, we did? Okay, sorry.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
I'm just catching up.
Irma.
Welcome,
Williamstown High School, 1979.
So
Cool.
the next set we're going late 60s, early 70s kind of theme.
Right. And yeah, so we'll go with the first album.
So the first album is the Chicago Transit Authority, aka Chicago.
Right. Well,
But
they
the
were
first-
called Chicago Transit
Right.
Authority, and then were sued by the Chicago Transit Authority for using their name.
Right.
Literally,
So they
yeah.
just literally and changed their name
Right.
to
So this was a
Chicago.
1969 release.
Right, they were debuting. It sold 2 million copies.
Yep.
Next up is American Woman by the Guess Who.
Yeah,
Not the Who, the Guess Who.
Yeah,
1970.
I'm thinking it went gold, but I didn't see any sales on the listings that I was looking for.
Okay.
I'm thinking it had to go gold based on 4 of the songs on here. It had to go gold.
Right. And the last one is Around the World with the Three Dog Night.
Sold 500,000 copies.
1973 release.
400,000, really.
And this was a
Yes.
live album.
Yeah.
It's a live album,
Which
and they
We normally
argued
don't
it.
do
but
compare.
Which-
last night after last week's show,
last week's show,
If
I
some
texted Ed, I'm like, why do we have a live album here? So like, well, we all agreed last week. I'm like, well, we must have had too much whiskey in our systems.
and that was
You know,
probably the case.
because this is a definite violation of our rules.
But there was a reason for it. So
You can't put a live album with 2 solos, but whatever,
yes.
you know. So, who wants to go first here? You want to take this?
No,
Or
I think Bill's
can
going to
take-
go first.
Yeah, well, he's going right now. I mean, I can do this. I can go first.
You
here.
can go first.
I can go first here. Okay. So anyway, let's start with the live album by Three Dog Night. First of all, it's a live album, so it's a violation. But I mean, there's 2 violations on here. There's an organ solo, and there's a drum solo on here. So I know, yeah, not the skin
Yeah,
flute, the
yes.
organ solo. Yeah. So anyway, Going in Circles, Liar, Joy to the World, Black and White, an old-fashioned love song, and Mama Told Me Not to Come, which is a Randy Newman song, which I didn't know.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if that's a cover or he just wrote that and they sung it.
At the end of the day,
We'll just say
the end of the day,
he just wrote it and
people wrote.
Okay.
Three Dog Night didn't write their own stuff.
Oh, okay.
People wrote for them.
Okay, so that's not a cover. So anyway, so there's 6 songs I really like on here, but it's a live album. But I think what Ed was saying, that we picked this because there wasn't any one studio like Three Dog Night album that we can. There was enough on there where
Right.
we can like not just dump it right off the friggin' bat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And
So-
that was the whole thing.
yeah, so that was the whole thing. So, I'm fixing that album, even though it's a live album. There's the 6 tracks that I mentioned on here that I liked, but I'll have to say, who's the member of Three Dog Night with the mustache?
Chuck Negron.
Chuck. Okay, so him. When I was this album wasn't on Spotify, so I had to go to YouTube,
okay.
to listen to this. So basically, this album had a bunch of like live clips of like from different years. So there was a clip in 1983 from one of these songs. I don't know which one it was, and he just looked like Steve Perry with a friggin' mustache. And I was like, oh my god. But it was from 1983, and he had
Yeah.
the long hair like Steve Perry.
Right.
Looked just like him, but all other than with the mustache. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh my god.
That might
I
have
was
been
like-
Danny Hutton.
Well, whatever. You know, he was
Whoever it was,
he-
it looked just like
it's
Steve
just
Perry.
like Steve Perry, but it's the guy with the long black hair. He came down to his shoulders, and he was wearing a mustache all the time. He was the only one of the 3 with the mustache, so I'm not sure what his name was. So anyway, that was just an observation. But I'm fixing that. American Woman by the Guess Who. I liked American Woman. I liked No Time was good. No Sugar Tonight / New Mother Nature was good. There's a violation on here. There's an instrumental. 969, The Oldest Man was an instrumental. Proper Stranger was okay. I was teetering on a number 1 or second tier, but I kind of leaned towards. So there's 4 songs I really like on here, but there's not enough on here compared to the other 2. So I'm trashing American Woman by the Guess Who. Obviously, I'm blasting Chicago Transit Authority. Oh my God! Now I have to make an observation here. This was a double album.
Yep.
This was their debut album, so they had the frickin' balls to release a double album as their debut
Well,
album.
And the
wait.
record company
Their
apparently
first-
had enough
Their
faith.
first album
Their
was
first-
a double album.
Their first 6 albums.
Well,
were
whatever,
double-
but I'm
right,
just
no, but
saying, that was
no, right,
ballsy,
right.
though.
Yeah,
Yes.
who are these
Who
guys?
does that?
And the record company is like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
put out a double album.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, with the other albums, but I mean, off of
For the
here,
time,
off of
right.
here, they could have done whatever they
Right.
wanted to do after
Yes.
this. But oh my God, 69, they're releasing a studio double album as their
Smitty
first.
is saying he looked like Steve Perry.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did he?
after 3 raviolis.
So anyway, so I mean, I mean, there's 7 songs I really like on there. Does anybody
Yeah.
really know what time it is? Beginnings, Question 68 and 69.
Yeah.
The grouping between Listen, Poem 58, which, oh my God, that's Chicago with those guitars in that song. Oh my God. Freeform Guitar, which is a violation, but I mean, I remember on the first season we played freeform guitar, and it was like people trying to guess who is this. You would never know this was Chicago, just based on it was just a bunch of distortion and heavy guitars and everything.
Yeah.
Then South
about
California Purples and I'm a Man, like just those that portion. It's like that's Chicago. You know what I mean? Because you think of Chicago with horns and Peter Cetera and Peter Cetera sings lead on Question 68 and 67, 68. But I think that's the only lead he had on this whole album. And but I mean, there's like really 7 really good songs on here. And I mean, we listened. We had this song. We had this album before. We talked about this, but this is a really good album. And it's just,
now we're forced to listen
and
to
it
it
shocked me.
Yeah.
It shocked me how great the guitars was on here. I mean, just like the heaviness of the guitars for Chicago. So I'm like blasting this to no end. I love this album.
Yep.
So I'm blasting Chicago. I'm fixing 3 Dog Night Around the World, and I'm dumping American Woman by the Guess Who.
Gotcha.
Who wants to go
Let me
next?
go next. Yeah,
Yep.
I'll go next. So, we have a little bit different, Len, but let me start with Chicago. So, like Fleetwood Mac, when I was a kid, I was like, Fleetwood Mac didn't like it. When I was a kid, Chicago, I hated Chicago.
I was the same way too.
Yeah. This freaking record is amazing. This
I
is
know.
great stuff.
I know.
And I listened to it in the past number of years and was like, I like it. Having to listen to it for this show was like, this was a joy. This
Yes.
was a joy. I just
Yes, it
sat
was.
and sunk into
Yeah.
it. It's like, let me just chill and listen to this record. It is so freaking good.
It is.
Yep.
So,
It is.
Blasting Transit
Yes.
Authority
Yes.
from '69. Side note: there was a really good documentary from CNN of all places, or CNN broadcast it.
Right.
Maybe somebody else did it on the history of Chicago,
Mhm.
and it's mainly about their old days. I mean, they go a little bit at the
Right.
very. It's like 2 hours at the very end. They go into some of the '80s stuff and whatever, but it's more about the core of Chicago, of what they've done, where they started, and that even today, Chicago is a huge band.
Yeah.
So I recommend that documentary. I'm sure you can find it somewhere to stream. Guess Who? I love this record too. I would have blasted it if not for Chicago. I'm gonna fix it. No Time, No Sugar Tonight. Love those songs.
American Woman, you got.
American Woman, of course.
Yeah.
Here's one note I have. A quadraphonic mix was available on the quadraphonic 8-track cartridge.
Wow. Remember,
So,
Quadraphonic
if
came
any
and went
one of
very
you out
quick.
there has the quadraphonic 8-track of this, contact me.
Yes.
I'll buy it from you. And then I'm going to trash 3 Dog Night because it wasn't available on Spotify, so I couldn't listen to it. So F you, Spotify.
Yeah, I had to go to YouTube.
Yeah, you went
this
one leg further than I did.
Yeah, well,
So,
Well, it's good. It's
I
good
had to
know
listen
some-
to it to get my opinion. So.
Right.
so
Right. Well, some people.
I
just-
like 3 Dog Night, but sometimes it has to be trashed. I believe it. So,
All right. So for me, with Chicago, out of the first 4 albums I ever bought in my life, and to be honest with you, I think it might have been the 3rd album. It came down to this album. Chicago. This album had a poster in it, so I wanted to have a poster in my room too.
that's great.
I got Chicago 3. So the problem with Chicago 3, the poster in it, it was a poster of the military cemetery in Virginia,
Arlington.
Cemetery, and I'm like, yeah, this is not the kind of poster you want to hang in your
In
room.
your room, yeah.
Okay.
It's not very rock.
So anyway, with Chicago, it's like you, I think I got into like the heavier, like Ted
Right.
Nugent, all the Aerosmith, Queen, all that stuff.
But the thing is, like,
And
the
I was
Chicago
never
I
big-
knew was Hornsey
Right.
and
I was never
Yeah.
big on
really didn't go-
horns.
right.
I was never big on horns. And when I put these 3 together, it's like I wanted 3 bands that we don't really discuss much. And so, I mean, I listened to the Chicago album like about a year or 2 ago, and I was like, I was floored. And I'm listening to this, and I'm listening to the horns on this album, and I'm like, This is a band that back in the
Very
70s, I think if we saw them live, if somebody dragged us to a show,
We
and we
would have
heard
loved-
these
we would have
things,
loved them.
these things would have been in our face and
Yes.
loud.
Yes.
And it's just like, whoa. You know, along with heavy guitar,
Right.
You got
which
this
I didn't
horn
really
section.
associate it. You know,
Right.
I always like every time I
Yeah.
saw Chicago live on TV, it was always the big horn section.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like I never like just the heaviness of some of the guitars and some of these songs are like it just blew me away.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah. So for me, I'm blasting Chicago.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
I am fixing the Three Dog Night live album, and I will give some heads up on the Guess Who in a moment.
Be still my heart.
Right. You know, I mean, first off, Three Dog Night belongs in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They have some of the
agree.
greatest songs.
Yeah.
They have like 15 great songs. I don't care. They were written by other people for them. They performed them. They're locked in our memory. They should be in the
So
Rock
they're
and
like
Roll
the
Hall
Milli
of Fame.
Vanilli of.
They're
Oh.
better than that, but
Okay.
fortunately,
They didn't lip sync.
I got to see them live, which I was so happy to see them live. It was the whole original band. And for me, with the Guess Who, I love American Woman, No Time, No Sugar, New Mother Nature, Sweet. And for me, with the Guess Who, and this was a rough trash because I like the Guess Who. I love Burton Cummings' voice, and I have an album called Rockin' that I got at that $1.99 store. But I've always to this day
Yeah, I
loved
had
it.
a guess. I had a Guess Who.
Rockin'.
I couldn't. Was
So
that
you
what it was?
had So
It had,
Grown.
it had Shaken All Over
So
on it.
Grown in Canada. It was like one of their first.
Yeah, it had Shaken All Over on
And
it.
Clock on the Wall said
Right.
it's quarter
Yeah,
five.
yeah.
Right.
I couldn't.
Yep.
I couldn't figure out
Yeah.
which one I had.
Shaken, yeah.
Shaken All
Right.
Over. Yeah, right. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I love the Guess Who, and I think they're a very underrated band, and I still like a lot of the stuff on this album. Just compared to these here, that's my choice. But
Right,
the
right.
Guess Who, even past the hits, have a lot of good stuff. And
Yeah.
for those of you who don't know, Randy Bachman, when he left, he formed BTO. BTO came out
Bachman
of
Turner Overdrive.
the Guess Who. So let's see here. So
We're into the songs.
we're into the songs again. Again, this is the new segment. We're gonna focus on more next year. But for this group of songs,
We have a group of 3 songs that we're going to blast, trash, and fix again, like we did the Zeppelin
Was
stuff.
Smitty's asking, was Tower of Power the horn section? I don't believe so. I think
No, that was just a separate group altogether.
Yeah.
Tower Power. What is hip?
Yeah,
Tower Power is a whole separate
yeah,
group.
that was a whole separate group.
But
Right,
Tower-
but they were not part of Chicago. They,
No,
they did
no.
join in. God, who?
Tower Power has
They joined in a
played
couple
horns
bands.
on a lot of different albums
Right.
in rock.
But
I know
Chicago
the
had their
Rolling
own
Stones
deal.
have used Tower Power horns on.
But they
early
did their own
70s.
stuff,
Yeah.
though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, their
okay,
own
yep,
unit.
right.
But then it would be like so and so featuring Tower of
Yeah,
Power
right,
horns
right.
type of deal.
So the
Okay.
next group of songs is from a group from Boston called Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Okay.
And the 3 songs that we are having to blast, trash, and fix are Sweet Emotion, Back in the Saddle. I agree with this song. I still think mine would have been better because it would have been more in the classic era, but Jailbait, okay? Which was...
I had Ed change. He wanted Lord of the Thighs in this group, and I'm like, I was like, I don't think they belong.
Never
It doesn't
mind.
belong. Yeah. So I guess you're kind of in agreement with me
Yeah,
as far as like having Lord of the Thighs in this grouping.
yeah. No, I'm fine. With
I know.
that.
I was like,
Yeah. Yep.
So-
So, anyway, I'll go first on
Okay.
this one. And even though we switched out the Jailbait, I'm trashing Jailbait.
okay.
I'm a bass player, so what song am I
Sweet Emotion.
blasting? I'm blasting Sweet Emotion.
Dun, dun, dun,
Great
dun,
bass
dun,
line,
dun.
classic freaking bass line of all time.
Right.
On top of the great song. So love Sweet Emotion, blasting that. Back in the Saddle, fix it. I don't know, guys. How would you fix Back in the Saddle?
hard. It's hard.
Less bass.
No, more bass.
More bass.
More bass.
Well, for him, yeah,
Yeah,
more
for
bass.
him.
More
Right.
bass. All
Well,
your
It
bass.
should be boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, right.
Boom, boom. Right.
All your bass
Dun,
all
dun.
belong to us.
Yes.
So that's it. That's what I got.
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
Because I got to refute this.
Okay.
So, based on that, I looked at these songs as, Sweet Emotion, great song, but I'm trashing it. Okay? In this group, I'm trashing it. And the reason being, and the reason why I'm trashing it is because I look at
Finger
back,
is up, and it's good.
I look at Back in the Saddle.
I get that right in the middle.
Back
Yeah,
in the
you did,
Saddle is a great opening number, and I've seen Aerosmith where the
Yeah.
curtains were closed, and you just heard doon doon, and it gradually built up. Okay, Jailbait, also a great opening number. It just kind of
Yes.
like pop through the curtain.
It does.
Boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
and it hits
just
you.
kicked. It just right from the start. It just hits you
So,
in the face.
in an unusual turn of events, I am blasting Back in the Saddle, fixing Jailbait, and I'm trashing Sweet
How are you going to
Emotion.
fix Jailbait?
Less bass.
All right.
Yeah, I was like kind of I was in agreement. I have to. I've got to say
If,
that
if Jailbait is trashed by you, I'm going to kill you because you were the one that put it in there.
I've got to say that
He's
it
stuttering.
was hard for me to trash Sweet Emotion of the three, but I am. But
Okay.
the reason why is because
I hate you both.
no, it's just that of the three though. I mean, it's a great song. I love it, and it reminds me of a good friend of mine, Steve Angelucci. He passed away from prostate cancer, but this was his favorite Aerosmith song. So every time I hear the song, I think of him. So, but that's why it was hard for me to trash this of the three. But anyway, I got to trash. But then I was going back and forth. I know I suggested to Ed to throw in Jailbait and not Lord of the Thighs because Ed. But I was going back between the two. I really like Jailbait. Like it kicks asses right from the beginning. But then it's like Rocks is my favorite Aerosmith album, and this opens up, and Back in the Saddle opens the album up, and it's one of my favorite like side one track ones like of all time, and it just like it opens the album. It just sets the rest of the album up, and we're back in the saddle again, and it just so I'm blasting Back in the Saddle. I'm fixing Jailbait, and I'm trashing Sweet Emotion, which I really wish I didn't have to trash that song because of what I said, but but that's what I'm doing. So I'm in agreement with you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, this
There
is
you go.
this could be the
Yeah.
whiskey talking. I'm thinking.
could be.
Yeah, that's one time that I'm right and you two are wrong.
Yeah. So
All right, so we got another video coming up.
we got
right?
another video coming up. Coming up, we have Deep Purple, some other stuff, some super groups,
Yeah.
and we also have
I hear you, Schmitty.
we got some good stuff. But coming up later in the show, we are doing a grouping by Ronnie James Dio, and next
Yeah.
coming
Ooh,
up,
that would be
that's
very
gonna be a good
interesting.
one.
next coming up is Ronnie James Dio as the band Dio at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, performing the song "Heaven and Hell."
Nice.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
Nice. this guy, Mike?
And we are back.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, Dio
great.
Rouse, and we are in our next to last segment. We will be exploring the body of work by Ronnie James
Yeah.
Dio.
Yes. In
And
all facets
this
of his
segment
career.
right after
and,
this
and all
one.
and all facets of his career.
Yes.
Facets.
Facets. Yeah.
Facets.
Facets.
Wow, I can't even say it.
I can't say it.
So, but what we're going to do right now is a little band called Deep Purple. So,
Just a small one.
yes,
Burn.
Burn,
When did this come out, Ed?
1974.
1974.
Sold 500,000 copies.
Machine Head. 1972.
Oh, you got your notes now.
I do.
2 million copies.
Fireball.
And Fireball.
That could have been a better album cover, huh?
500. You know what? I think this
I'm
is.
sorry, I just had to say
No,
that.
I think this is listed as
I mean-
one of the bad because it looks.
I mean,
like a,
I thought-
it looks like a sperm.
I mean, you know,
it
I
does.
thought
It
I
looks
thought
like a sperm.
I thought
Yeah.
Burn was bad until I saw Fireball. I was like, okay.
I remember Burn when I was a kid going into the Jolly's record store because Deep Purple was always there near Alice Cooper and
Right.
on that one rack. But I just remember this album always being. I didn't get it, but
Okay.
so do you want to go first and
No,
then me?
no.
or-
Why don't you do it?
That's right. You want me to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
We discussed that already.
We did. I just.
Bill, you're
Decided-
going last,
Decided-
right?
No, I'll
You're
go
gonna-
after Ed.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm kind of building it up.
All right. So we decided. Let's
I'm building. Never mind.
building.
Yes.
Not
So
building.
Just give your
so
fucking
so
pitch.
for me, so one of the things here is it's interesting that what is my favorite Deep Purple album. I have some friends who really like.
So Robert Hagerman says Machine Head is the best first album he ever bought.
Ever bought? That's fair.
Yes.
So you're saying, Robert, that was the first
First
Deep
album.
Purple album you ever bought?
He said first album I ever bought. So I'm assuming
Yeah, was it
his
the-
very
Oh,
first
oh,
album.
gotcha. Wow. Wow.
1972. Okay.
Yeah,
You started out strong.
All right.
buying
Well,
that.
I remember this album on the Wildwood Boardwalk. You just always heard smoke on the water that whole summer.
I had this 8-track.
I think you had it on 8-track, right?
Yes,
You
I
had
did.
it on 8-track.
Yeah, yeah,
I had it
Was
on
it
8-track.
quadrophonic?
I
No.
don't recall.
No, not on that. What was that little thing with the Mr. Microphone over there that we had?
Okay.
So anyway, that being said,
Scott Silverman chimed in. He said, "If I said it once, I'll say it again. Machine Head may be the top album of all time." He's blasting it, obviously.
Wow.
Obviously.
guys,
Okay.
buckle up.
Oh
Okay?
boy. I might be bringing you back to sanity, folks, after Ed gets done. So go ahead, Ed.
Well, what's interesting here is I have friends who are into hard rock and everything, and I have friends who swear by Burn, and I get it because Burn is David Coverdale's first album with Deep Purple, and I'm thinking Ian Gillan to David Coverdale is not a bad segue, and this is a very young David Coverdale before the Whitesnake reincarnations in the mid '80s.
It's 1974.
Yeah. So, Fireball was a precursor to Machine Head.
Yes.
And there are people who swear that this is Deep Purple's album. And I think it comes down to when you got into Deep Purple and why you got into Deep Purple. I can see where certain people.
I agree with you. Ed. Fireball
yeah.
was a warm up.
Yeah.
Warm up to Machine Head.
So I see that if you got into Deep Purple early on, now for me, I actually listened to Deep Purple. They were one of the first, probably 4 bands I ever listened to in my life because one of my friends' brother had Shades of Deep Purple, which was their first album with Mandrake Group, Hush, on it, and I really like Deep Purple. It's a whole different singer then. It was a
Right.
different vibe. But so for me,
And you always tout their live album, Made in Japan.
Made in Japan.
Tout.
Yes.
Tout.
Tout. Very nice. That's it. That is. I'm going to tout. I'm going to tout this Guinness. So, for me, I always found it interesting their opinions, but it's really my opinion that counts. Sorry.
So why don't you just get your freaking picks, man?
I am. I have to build it up. This is why you
Yeah.
guys let me go
This
first.
has been like
I am
30 minutes.
No, I'm not going. I'm not going.
I just noticed you changed your shirt.
Yeah. You know what?
I never noticed that.
I had to break.
That was the same shirt you from 2 years ago.
That's right.
Shared in that video.
Because it's
I
time.
hope you watched
it's-
it a couple
it's-
times
It's
this
time
time.
to kick ass and take names here.
It was standing. It was standing up on its own
standing
against
up
the
on-
wall.
yeah, I know, right? Yes. I told the shirt it's dead, and it wouldn't listen to me.
All that had to do was hold his arms
Yeah.
up in the air, and it just fell on him.
I am blasting Deep
So
Purple
good.
because
You're blasting what?
Deep Purple. Wow, that's great. There are 3 albums.
Where's that
by them.
whiskey
There are 3
bottle at? I'm
albums by
taking it
them.
away from you.
Maybe you would like to pick one of the records.
He's blasting Deep Purple.
Awesome.
Give me this.
Can I do that?
I win.
Bill, here, take this.
All right, let me be more specific.
I'm blasting Janis Joplin. She's not even on the list. I'm blasting her anyway.
I'm blasting Jimi Hendrix.
I hope this is as much fun for you guys as it is for them. You know.
my God.
All right.
All right, let's
right.
restart.
I'm sorry.
And back to you.
I am blasting Machine Head because
I'm sorry.
I'm blasting.
You're making me
I'm blasting
laugh. I'm
Machine
going
Head.
to.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. I'm sorry.
I am fixing Burn because you know what? It was
fixing
they
Burn?
recovered their first album with them, and it's good. It's not Ian Gillian, Machine Head good, but it's good. I am trashing only because I'm trashing Fireball.
Trashing Deep Purple.
I'm trashing Deep Purple. Yeah. So I'm blasting Deep Purple. I'm fixing
Fixing
Deep
Deep
Purple.
Purple,
and
you're trashing Deep Purple. Wow.
But I'm trashing Fireball. I mean, first off, that is a lame cover. It looks like a sperm.
Yes, it does.
It is one of the horrible album covers.
Yes.
But it's still
Far
a
from-
good album, but
far
it is
from
a
a Fireball.
It's
That's what they were going
It's
for.
a precursor
Yes,
to
it was.
Machine Head.
Precursor.
So,
that's a
blasting
shot-worthy.
Machine Head,
That's shot worthy.
fixing Burn, and dumping Fireball. I say Team Head.
Well, there we go.
Good, Bill.
I didn't expect that to be that long.
You were fixing Burn, you said?
I've heard that before.
All right, so here we go. The band Deep Purple with 3 records by Deep Purple.
Were you blasting Deep Purple, Bill?
No, I will choose each record and blast and
Well,
trash
that
them
would be good.
individually.
That would be good.
Because that's what we do here. So Scott, you're going to be happy twice now because I am blasting Machine Head. So 1972. So one thing I had that's interesting about these 3. One, Machine Head is a great frickin' record. Scott, you had mentioned that what album sold the most. This one sold the most. One because it's great. These 3 records: Machine Head, 7 songs, 37 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Fireball, 7 songs, 38 minutes.
Oh, he's pulling a little Lenny here.
Burn,
It's
13 songs.
13.
13, I got 8.
I got 8.
You
1
must have-
hour,
What did
12
you pull?
minutes.
Nah, I got 8.
Yeah.
I got 8. I think you
Yeah, you pulled
pulled
up the
the
CD
CD
re-release when you
re-release
added a bunch of
probably.
shit. There's only
Yeah.
8 songs.
It ends with 8.
But your
200.
first 2 points were good.
All right. Well, anyway,
So trash Deep Purple.
that's what she said.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm going to be trashing Burn. I don't like this record much at all. I was looking for a solid song. You Fool No One has got a kind of cool, good drum part and a cool groove. That's the best I had to say about that. And I'm fixing Fireball. It's got a lot of good songs, but it can't compare to Machine Head, so how can I not blast Machine Head? So fix Fireball. Fix Fireball, blast Machine Head, trash Burn.
Wait, now remember you wanted My Woman from Tokyo album when we were discussing these, which I think is...
Hey, we don't talk
wrong.
about, that is privileged information, what we talk about on our own.
No one talks about
records.
FMV.
So Roy said he's Team Fred. Who's
Well,
Fred?
I think he's Team Ed.
He's Team Fred.
Are you right, said Fred?
Right. Or Drop Dead
Which
Fred.
would be... I am...
Oh yeah, no, he
I
said,
am...
oh yeah, Ed. No, he said, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah,
so-
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I only saw the first
So
one. I saw
Robert,
Team
what do you
Fred.
mean never before? I'm
Never
sorry.
before what?
Is that a record? I'm sorry, is that a song on one of the records? I don't recall.
Never
off the top of my
before.
head.
I don't see anything on here.
You've never
so
seen-
So anyway, let me.
Go, Len.
My opinion, Bill, I am in complete agreement with you on your Blast, Trash, and Fix. Burn did not do anything for me
Yep.
at all.
Yep.
I mean, the title track "Burn" was good for me. I mean, I like that song. What's going on here was a maybe. It was a teetering song for me.
Mm-hmm.
A200 is a violation. It's an instrumental. So there's only like maybe 2 songs on here I like.
Machine Head, really?
Maybe 2 songs. Fireball. I'm fixing Fireball. I love Fireball.
Oh yeah.
Strange Kind of Woman, and Fools was the 3 songs that I like off of here. But Machine Head, I mean, what can you say about Machine
Never
Head?
Before is track 4 on side 1
Yeah.
on
On-
Machine Head.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so
Just didn't click for me.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
Robert.
Machine-
Yep,
so- yeah,
that is
okay.
great. That's on my list of.
All right, well, that's not on my list on here. So, Highway Star, Smoke on the Water, Lazy, and Space Truckin' are the 4 notables for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I had this 8-track. I blasted this. I mean, it was a really good record. Of the 3, like you said, I agree. Fireball was a precursor to Machine Head, but Burn did nothing for me, so I'm dumping Burn. I'm fixing Fireball because it's a precursor to their best album, which
And actually,
is Machine Head.
one thing none of us talked about that I think is noteworthy is that Deep Purple has like a Deep Purple sound.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's
that keyboard kind of guitar.
It's that heavy keys with a guitar on top of it.
And heavy bass, really heavy bass. I know.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do
That's
it.
And I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
about
Yeah, it's
that's
true.
about the only thing that kind of turned me off a little bit with Deep Purple was the
bass?
the keyboard.
The Hammond
The
B3.
keyboard.
Yeah, the keys,
I,
but then the
I love the
guitars are
guitar.
usually
I love
lots.
the vocals.
Yeah.
Vocals are dynamite. The guitars are dynamite.
Hammond B3, yeah.
But
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
keyboards
there you go.
mixed in there, I
Interesting.
They're trying to-
But
you
you
can't
do
be a
agree
rock
that
band
there
with a
was
keyboard.
the Deep Purple sound.
Yeah,
Like, you heard a
right.
song, it's like, holy shit, that's Deep
Because
Purple.
like
Yeah,
Scott Summers
yeah.
said, I'm lazy, I want to stay in bed.
Yeah.
they have an identifiable sound. In other words, if you heard a song, that's Deep Purple,
Yep.
basically.
Yep. Cool. With you on that.
So, our next segment. Now, in this segment here, we went with supergroups. Now, we went more with supergroups
So called.
coming into the 80s. These were
members of classic 70s.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this is like, so what people don't understand is that Emerson, Lake and Palmer was considered a supergroup because Keith Emerson came out of The Nice, Greg Lake came out of King Crimson, and Carl Palmer was the drummer in The Crazy World of Arthur Brown.
Okay,
and
so
also
2 of those 3 groups were like, what? Who?
Well, but these were, yeah, but what I'm saying is, so
A supergroup to me is that
Beck, Bogart, and Appice.
they came out of really good groups and formed a supergroup.
Those were good groups that were before
not
their
those
time.
other 2 to 3 groups that were like.
Yeah,
King
well, Earth's
Crimson.
examples are not that great, but
No,
the people we're
no.
talking about in this 3 list, I think,
No.
came out of.
All right,
very
so
good
let's get
bands.
into the albums and we can discuss each one. Okay, so
All right.
we got Asia, title track, 1982. So John Wetton was from King Crimson, right? Steve Howe played guitar. Obviously, he was from Yes. Carl Palmer was drums from ELP. Now this is a super group. I mean, this is Jeff Downs keyboards. He was from Yes and the Bungles.
The Bungles, that's
Right.
me.
Okay, whatever. But he's from Jeff Downs. What albums did he play on for Yes? Keyboards.
Drama.
He was on Drama?
That's
Okay,
it.
he was on Drama. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You got groups, you got people from King Crimson, Yes, ELP, that
And this-
formed a group.
and
I
this
mean,
album
that's a
sold-
that's a super group, not the 2 out of the 3 that you mentioned.
Exactly. So forget about what
Right,
happens.
okay,
Let's talk-
all right,
Let's
okay.
talk about the bands that we have on our list.
Okay, so anyway, that's Asia.
That sold 4 million copies.
So that's Asia. We have Bad English. Okay, so Bad English, John Waite from The Babies, Jonathan Cain and Neil Schon from Journey
Yep.
was on here. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're the
Sold
most
1 million
so they're the
copies.
most notables on here.
1 million of it?
1 million.
And the next album is Damn Yankees, 1990. Jack Blades, Night Ranger, Ted Nugent, obviously Ted Nugent,
Jim.
Tommy Shaw from Styx.
Yep.
Okay. And this was 1990. Okay, I mentioned that. That's true.
Yep.
Who wants to go first here?
Lynn Finn, welcome to the show.
Lynn
Glad you
Finn.
can make it.
Yeah.
Video killed
can
the
I-
radio
Southwest Philly in the
star.
house.
Nice.
All
Southwest
right.
Philly.
I'll go first.
Okay, okay.
Let's see. So, all right, where to begin? Let's go with Asia. So Asia, real interesting, formation of these people in the early '80s. their first record, I think, was really good. Heat of the Moment, Only Time Will Tell. Soul Survivor is a really good song.
That was a really good start to that album.
Yep. Then it kind of trails off.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Here Comes the Feeling is the closer, and that's pretty good.
Oh my God.
Time Again you didn't like?
Not really.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, I am not.
Ed, I hate to say it, but I'm kind of in agreement with. I know
it
where
might
Bill's
be
going
Team
with
Lenny,
this.
It's Team Lenny and Bill.
I know where Bill's going with this.
So again, I like all the individual members of this band
Yes.
and of Asia 1982. That was great. So I'm fixing these guys because one, it's not a great record front to back, and two, then they put a ton of shitty records out into the 90s and the 2000s. There's a frickin' Asia.
You're judging those albums, as you would say.
Oh, wait a minute. You're fixing this album?
I'm fixing it.
Oh, okay. So we're not in agreement.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
The way you were describing it, it sounded like you were dumping it. I'm sorry.
And,
Oh my God.
Team Bill, Smitty's Team Bill.
It sounds
so
like
far.
Ed is like blasting this Asia.
But anyway, I'm fixing it
The way
by
his
saying
reaction-
make this record better, and then stop putting out shitty Asia records into the 90s and the 2000s. No, we're talking about the supergroup.
Right.
Aren't we? I don't think
We're comparing the album.
I
We're
don't-
comparing album to album.
We're not judging their catalog here.
On my list, I didn't say judge Asia. I saw we're judging supergroups of Asia, Bad English,
Right.
and Damn
Damn
Yankees.
Yankees, okay.
So I'm judging their entire career.
All right, so I think I'm going to go second here, and you
Yeah,
can,
go
and you
second.
can, you can do
All right.
your.
Fixing Asia.
Because you guys are freaking whack.
No,
All
we're
right.
not.
I am trashing Bad English because I had some warm feelings for Bad English because, like, wow, they had some like cool rock songs.
I'm just seeing if you. No, forget it. Said warm feelings. I'm just looking at.
Oh, hey now.
I think you made it to the bathroom.
I'm
this
saying
time.
when I was younger, I had
Okay.
some feelings like, yeah, Bad English is not a bad band. I listened to this. This is shit.
Wow.
Bad English
Wow.
is fucking terrible.
Wow.
This is the cheesiest bunch of shit that you will hear.
Wow.
And on top of it, these guys are all like 40 plus when they're doing this in 89 is when this came out. So, and you got like no ageism, anything like that. But they're trying to be like a hair metal band, and they're all old. Doesn't work. So their first record was Bad English.
I thought we were in agreement here, but we're apparently not.
Heaven.
You had a
Wait,
fr-
my one comment on Bad English. Heaven is a 4-letter word where they use the number
which
4
which obviously it's
instead of
not.
spelling it out. And their second letter, Hardline, came out a couple of years later. I didn't recognize a thing off of it. And then I read a deal that nobody was in the studio at the same time. They had a 2-record deal with a label. I'm trashing that. I am blasting freaking Damn Yankees. Scott, what is Scott going? Blast Asia, terrific musicians. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right, Scott, that's fine. We don't have to. We could still get along. I'm blasting Damn Yankees because I think this on their 2-record arc was the best of any of these guys.
Hey, can I borrow your bottle?
Tom Shaw. I'm trying to.
Have some of Hawk's Wiffle Ale.
Yeah.
It was brewed in 1995.
So I'm trying to look at my notes for this. No, they were a very good band, and I actually not like. Nice. I did not go to see a show to see Damn Yankees, but I did see Damn Yankees live. I was hanging out with a friend in Chicago in the early '90s.
I did not go to a show to see Damn Yankees, but I did see Damn Yankees live.
Right.
What, so they were like
Continue.
opening group?
Ozzy, it was a triple bill.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
I understand. I understood what you were
yeah,
saying.
Ed
going there.
seemed like
yeah, right.
flabbergasted.
Right.
How does that happen?
But I worked it out in my.
Exactly. So Ozzy Osbourne was a headliner, so I was going to see Ozzy, and it was Ozzy, Damn Yankees, and frickin' Ugly Kid Joe. If anybody
Ugly
remembers
Kid
that.
Joe.
If you
I hate
remember that.
everything
What did
about.
they-
I
what did
hate
they
everything
do?
about you.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was and Damn Yankees kicked ass,
Okay.
and Ted Nugent rocks. Damn Yankees blasting. Boom. Times yours.
Okay. Let me go
If
next.
you want.
You can go last. Dave.
You guys are fucking.
You can go
nuts.
last. So we're way off there. I think we're all going to be way off.
You're
there.
all off.
We're
You
off
guys
there.
are freaking
I'm
nuts.
dumping.
Scott, yes, Scott. The Damn Yankees. I'm sorry, Bad English was not that great.
Oh God, come on. Anyway, So
Scott, we got to have a beer sometime. But
Asia, the Asia album, it starts out really well. I mean, first 3 songs, Heat of the Moment, Only Time Will Tell, which is, I love that song. I love that song. I love that
It's
song.
a great song.
Soul Survivor's good. Time Again, I liked. There's 4 songs on there. I'm dumping Asia. I'm sorry,
You're
Ed.
dumping Asia.
I'm sure you're blasting this. I know by your reaction.
Wow.
I'm dumping Asia. You're fixing Asia. I'm sure he's blasting
Yep,
it. So
okay.
we're all over the board
We're all
here.
over the board here.
We're all over the board here. Okay. So there's 4 songs out of the 9 I like on here. It was a good lineup. I like the lineup. You know. Damn Yankees. Let's see what's going on. Bad Reputation was an obvious Ted song on here. Damn Yankees was an obvious Ted song. Rock City was an obvious Ted song. Pile Driver. When you go through this, you know, there's Ted Nugent, there's Jack Blades, Night Ranger, Tommy Shaw.
Yeah.
But obviously, you could see, listening from song to song, you could tell
Ted Nugent stuff.
Ted Nugent influence and Tommy Shaw influence or whatever. So anyway, so I like
Jack Blades is just happy to be there.
right, but he has good vocal stuff.
He does,
I like his vocals.
And I like these guys.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
It was a
listening
good
to their 2
combination.
records.
Yeah, it was a good group.
Yeah.
I'm fixing this album.
Okay.
Bad Reputation, I like. High Enough, Damn Yankees, Come Again,
Mm-hmm.
and Tell Me What You Want, are 5 songs that I really liked on here. There's some secondary songs, Mystified, Rock City, Pile Driver, or secondary songs that I like on here. I'm fixing this. But I'm blasting Bad English. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. John Waite, I love his vocal. There's some really good songs on here. I don't know where you're going with this, Bill, and I'm sure Ed walked away, so I'm sure he's probably dumping this album, but
It's 80s cheese.
it's
like
cheese, but I like it.
25-year-old
I really
guys.
like it. It's a good mix of like hard and mellow songs. I mean, Best of What I Got, Heavens of 4 Letter Word, Possession, Forget Me Not is the best song off this album. When I See You Smile is a Diane Warren song. She wrote
Really?
a
She wrote
lot
it?
of. She
Yeah.
wrote a lot of
I know it was a
hits.
hit. They had some hits
Yeah,
off this record
right.
too. I'm not saying it was
Ghost
some,
in Your Heart, I really like. The Restless Ones. So there's like 7
And
songs.
and don't get me wrong, I like John Waite as a singer. I like the other musicians too.
Right.
I just think Bad English is kind of
I don't know. I
bad idea.
I think because I own this album. I
I did
this
too.
up.
I bought it.
I mean, their second album sucked.
It was terrible. Yeah.
They came out with 2. The second album wasn't that great.
And I said
but-
that it was like apparently it was just like an obligation to the record company.
Probably,
Yeah,
but
no, it definitely was. I read
Yeah.
this, and they just kind of
there's only probably like 1 song off the second album,
Yeah.
but we're not talking about
Yeah.
that. But I love this album. I had this album. I wore it out in my car,
Alright.
and so I'm blasting Bad English. I'm fixing Damn Yankees, and I'm dumping Asia. Because there's only like 4 good songs on that whole
You
album.
are fucking nuts.
Time's yours, Ed. So I'm sure we're like, we're all over the place.
All right.
Whatever.
I'm about to bring a whole shitload of T-Meds into the mix here. It's going to be, it's a T-Med kind of thing here. All right? Really. There's only 4 good songs, and this... I'm just kidding. All right,
Speak.
He fixed it. I dumped it.
Heat of the Moment. Great song.
Yeah, first
Yeah.
Only Time Will
First
Tell.
3 songs.
Great
Love
song.
that song.
Soul Survivor.
Yes.
Great song.
But then after that, what do you
Time
got?
and Time Again. Great
Wait a
song.
minute. Just-
One
it's-
Step
Hold
Closer.
on. It's just Time
Great
Again,
song.
not Time and
Yeah.
Time Again.
Yeah.
Just Time
Okay.
Again.
The best,
it.
the
That's it.
best song on the album is a song called "Wildest Dreams."
What?
No.
Cutting
No.
It Fine.
Incorrect.
Great song.
No.
Without
Incorrect.
You.
There was
Great song.
not one song on the second side that I liked.
There is not one
side
song
two. On
on
side
this
two.
album that sucks. These 2 suck. Okay? I am blasting Asia because
course.
you got to be friggin' nuts. Now, mind you, now when this album came out, being a Yes fan and a fan of these bands or whatever, this was not what I expected. I expected something really like kind of
Scott-
crazy prog.
Hold on. Scott made a comment. Lenny, how can you trash Asia? You like Yes. Yes, I like Yes. I like the Babies, and I also like Ted Nugent, and I like Styx. So all participants in all these 3 albums I liked.
Just put it up right now. It's T-Med. I mean, come
Whatever.
on.
This is what
Asia.
I like.
This album,
All right, so you're
this
fine. You're blasting it.
album was great, start to finish. Okay, I agree. I agree with Bill here. I am trashing Bad English. I gave it a shot. I
I always knew you were.
like John Waite's voice and everything.
Yeah.
But there was just nothing here for me.
Oh, we got a Team Ed from Scott.
Damn right.
All right.
That's
Damn
your
right.
first one tonight, Ed.
Damn right. It's like
We're like, unfortunately,
Yeah,
I
okay,
don't
wow.
think that's true.
We're in our like friggin' 11th grouping,
I
and you
wish
got
it were
finally
true,
got a Team
but I'm
Ed.
afraid Team Ed is.
and I'm fixing Damn Yankees. Just a few more songs. It's like it's a
So we all have different opinions on
We
these.
did it.
songs.
Yeah. Super group.
Which is good.
no,
Hey, if you guys- I mean-
no. I like to think of it more like you guys had wrong opinions. I had the right opinion because if you're not blasting Asia, which is from start to finish a great album.
So basically,
Again,
you're
not what
blasting-
we expected as a Yes fan. Not what I expected as Yes teaming up with somebody from Emerson, Lake and
It's
Palmer.
not. It's definitely not a Yes album.
Right.
I was
definitely not.
expecting something proggy, and it came out this.
Yeah.
But I was like,
But it was
this
still, it was pretty good, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
fixable.
but
This-
the first 3 songs were great, but then it fell off.
oh my god.
So anyway, when we came up with this topic, it was like, oh great, supergroups. This is a great idea. And we kind of struggled to wait. So what,
Scott, I love you, man.
what
You're always
supergroups
one of
do
my
we want
favorite viewers.
to do. If you guys put out some supergroups for us, is basically what I'm saying.
Right.
Because we struggled to come up with people, and we ended up in these '80s guys. So
Right.
give us
So,
supergroups.
so basically, I blasted Bad English, you blasted Asia, and you blasted Damn Yankees.
yeah.
So that's how we're all over the place.
map.
We're all over the place here.
All right. What's
Right.
next?
All right, so we're at another song grouping.
Songs. Ooh.
Now I know you're looking, you're saying,
Ooh.
"Wow, we're over 2 hours into the show,
And
and
we have not mentioned.
and not have mentioned this group."
This
well,
group.
we're mentioning them now. So the next,
So you can go take your leaks or whatever you want to do.
yeah, go throw up in the
Go throw
bathroom
up in the bathroom
because of them trashing Asia. I would pour a really stiff drink for the last two because
Right.
coming up we got Dio, Blue Oyster Cult, Nazareth,
Yeah.
and Thin Lizzy. That'll be our final
But
grouping.
granted, this was not my suggestion. This was Ed's suggestion.
Well, I had to
he wants to
kowtow to him a
he
little
wants
bit.
to cater to me.
So what are we talking about here?
Kiss.
This is Kiss.
Oh, fuck those guys.
So you don't have no opinion? Whoa! Whoa! All right. Well, I guess I'm the only Kiss fan here.
All right. All right, I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back because
Well,
by contractual obligation, I have to be here with you.
You will not get your check if you don't go.
Right.
You don't review this.
So,
So I'm going to go last on this since I'm the biggest Kiss fan out of the 3.
all right.
So Bill, you doing this or not?
No, he's no.
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 Wow. Okay.
So, all right. So for me, I mean,
Wait a minute. I Want You. We didn't do I Want You. We were doing I Stole Your Love.
okay. Here, let me fix that then.
Okay. Not that anybody cares.
Okay, there it is.
Okay.
So for me, I'm dumping I Stole Your Love. And the choice here is Rock and Roll All Night and Detroit Rock City. And I will, because I'm going on the record version, I am blasting Rock and Roll All Night, and I'm
Off
fixing
the record version?
Yeah.
Off the studio version?
right. I'm fixing Detroit Rock City. So you're saying to me, Ed, how could you fix Detroit Rock City? Because to me, I would choose Detroit Rock
The
City
intro.
over is that intro,
Right.
the J.P. Morgan.
Right.
If you just cut that out and just get into the,
Right.
if the album just started, dude, that whole bullshit never needed to be there. I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe it was filler or
It
whatever.
was a Bob Ayers and theme
bullshit,
kind
right?
of, yeah.
Because to me, if
Well,
that album
well,
just
see, the
started,
thing-
do,
Well, do you
right.
know the story behind Detroit Rock City song?
No, I do not. But I have a feeling I'm going to find
You're
out.
going to know. Okay, so anyway, there was a real life incident where
The Kiss episode thing's going to end quickly. Don't worry about it.
yeah, it will. So there was an incident where someone was driving a long way to a Kiss concert, got in an accident, and died. Okay.
Okay.
So that's what it was. So the beginning was somebody getting in their car.
Right. Right. Speeding.
Rock and Roll All
Yep.
Night was on the radio.
Yep.
And he was kind of singing to it. He was speeding, and then breaks into Detroit Rock City, and the lyrics of the song is self-explanatory. Where I think I'm going to die. Why?
Right.
You got to lose your mind to do your right. Okay. So anyway, that was the theme behind the song.
Okay.
Okay. So they heard the story about what happened to this one particular person driving to a Kiss concert, passed away in a car accident. So
Right.
that's basically that was the premise of that song. Okay. So that's why that's where the intro came to.
Okay.
So anyway, so review. What's your
So I'm blasting Rock and Roll All Night, fixing Detroit Rock City, and I Stole Your Love. I Am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, Rock and Roll All Night didn't really become popular until the live album came out. The studio version of it did not do anything until the live version came out, and that was my first time I heard Kiss on the radio, the live version of Rock and Roll All Night, which led me to buy Kiss Alive, which led me to whatever. Okay.
To ruining his musical taste forever.
Right. Exactly. Whatever it is. Okay. So anyway. Detroit Rock City. I'm blasting Detroit Rock City. How can you not blast Detroit Rock City? It's one of their most iconic songs. Rock and Roll All Night. I think I'm dumping that out of the 3 because I just don't. I don't know. It's like I know I go against my. I'm so tired of hearing it kind of thing. It's like, I always say that, but you can't go by that. But like I said, it didn't do anything from the studio album. It became popular on a live album. So for that point, I'm dumping that. But I Stole Your Love. They open up their Rock and Roll Over tour, or no, their Love Gun tour with I Stole Your Love, and I love this song. It's one of my favorite Kiss songs, but I can't pick it over Detroit Rock City. So blasting Detroit Rock City, I'm fixing I Stole Your Love, and I'm dumping Rock and Roll All Night.
Cool. So we got a 3-minute video coming up. It's from CBS Good Morning. It's the Isley Brothers talking about when Jimi Hendrix was in the Isley Brothers.
Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's a 3-minute video, and we'll be back. And the next one up, we'll be talking about Dio, and then we got Blue Oyster Cult, Nazareth, and Thin Lizzy. So stick around. This is just a quick 3-minute video.
Kelly and Ronald were looking for a guitarist to play in the band because the guitar player that my brothers had in the band had quit. And they heard about this guy in the village and played very well. And they just found him and, hey man, play something for me. I can't. My guitar's in the pawn shop.
Come on, Bill, you're a party.
Get his guitar out. Play something for me. I can't. Because my guitar doesn't have any strings on it.
And then we bought the strings, and then he was saying, man, I heard all about you guys. He was putting the strings on the guitar. And I was listening. And he said, after he got the string, he turned the guitar was turning around, and he's left-handed, turned, and he started. He said, I like that song that y'all had called Twist and Shout. And he started playing it. I said, oh, my. We had it right away.
Could introduce you to the rest of the brothers in the band. We got rehearsals, in a couple of days. I can't make rehearsals in New Jersey because I do not have a place to stay. All right, these are your worldly goods here? Come on with us, and you can stay in a spare bedroom we have at my mother's house. So they're leaving, and they say, by the way, Jimmy, you play very well, but the guitar you have is kind of scruffy looking. If you're going to play with us, we got to get you a new axe.
I'm kind of the least.
Really? He's like, yeah, what kind do you want? Can I have a white Stratocaster? Yes. Oh, my God. So, when he comes into the house, to our house for the first time, he has a brand new guitar with a brand new guitar case, and he plays it like this. And he plays, I never heard, I'm 11 years old at the time. I never heard, and all the musicians I had heard, never heard anybody play a guitar like that.
And when we did our first gig, man, it just changed the whole band. He stood out in front of them, man, and like people went crazy over him,
And he had stage presence. He had a good sense of humor. He was respectful, polite. He learned very fast. He would start a band before the first rehearsal was over. And, you know, from like the jump, he was given preferential treatment, which, you know, some of the guys in the band, it rubbed them the wrong way, but place. Because it turns out that that person, you never know who you're rubbing elbows with. The night that the Beatles played on Ed Sullivan for the first time, on our couch is me on the left side, Marvin, Milton's brother, on the right side, and Jimi Hendrix in the middle. And when Ed Sullivan said, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles," there was no clap of thunder. You don't know what the future holds. It's indelible. And
You
a
never
couple of
forget
days,
the Ed Sullivan moment.
oh, no. And a couple of days after
Frank.
that, 2 or 3 days after that, that was a meeting with the whole band.
Gingerly coming down.
Kelly said, Mike is live. And changed everything. And, you know, I don't know what it's going to be like even for Elvis himself. But I think we're going to be all right because they do shout and twist and shout. And they got 2 guitar players. But we got Jimmy. And when he said, "But we got Jimmy," I looked over at Jimmy, and Jimmy was grinning from ear to ear. That remark. It's like, yeah, you know. So
Okay, so
that
it was
that.
a little bit longer than I expected, and we went live with the mic, so you heard us talking. It's all good. So yeah, I found it interesting.
I hope they didn't like hear how much I despised you. Oh, okay.
No. They
Everybody
can-
knows that.
Everybody knows
okay.
that.
All right,
It's like-
all right, okay. So it doesn't matter.
So our next grouping is an all Ronnie James Dio
All
group.
Dio, all the time.
So the first album. Let me
We
get
have.
the-
Okay, pop it up. I got it.
I got the interesting
I'm with
stuff.
it.
So
Okay. Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath album, 1980.
right, sold 1 million copies.
So you can see where we're going with this as we go along. This was a Dio album, The Last in Line, 1984.
1 million copies sold.
And this was, the next one was Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, 1975.
Which was the debut.
Debut.
I'm going to go with it being gold. It didn't have a sales,
Sales
but
number?
I'm thinking this had to be gold. So anyway,
Okay, so let me go first with this.
Yeah.
Bill, I don't know where you wanted to go. You wanted
I'll
to go
come after
second?
you and then Ed.
You want to go last with
I'll
this?
go-
'Cause
I'll
I
go
think you're the
last.
most Dio aficionado of the 3, maybe. I don't know.
well, this is where the people are going to say, you know,
Team
why
Ed
are we
again?
even listening to these other guys?
Okay, so let me start.
But you could shock me.
Let me start. Okay. Last in Line, Dio, 1984. I liked the Last in Line, obviously. One Night in the City, I liked. Mystery, I liked. There's only 3 songs I really liked off of here. Observation with Dio, with the Last in Line Dio and the Heaven and Hell Black Sabbath. It's like the same frickin' sound. Oh, I mean, I was
What do you mean by sound? I don't
it was like
understand.
the Dio, like, you know, like
the vocal.
the Dio
Okay,
vocal.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
It was like the Dio vocal was the same with Heaven and Hell and Last in Line. A little different with, because it was 1975, a little different with the Rainbow, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. More 70s soundish kind
Yeah,
of record,
sure, yeah.
you know. But the other 2 were like, it was Dio. It was like, let me shoot myself after a couple songs,
Wow,
kind
this
of
might
thing.
be Team Bill and Ed.
I mean, he's got a great vocal. Don't get me wrong,
You just got tired.
but it's just got the same.
yeah.
Yeah, because he's not Steve Perry going.
Well, I would describe Steve Perry as a pterodactyl screaming or whatever the hell that was. So anyway, so I'm dumping Last in Line by Dio, 1984.
Okay, Roy and Robert are on. Have got the same opinion going on.
Okay, so anyway, I'm dumping the Dio Last in Line. There's only 3 songs I really liked off of there. Like I said, The Last in Line, One Night in the City, and Mystery. Everything else I can do without. Okay.
And you're fixing.
Roy says stick with Kiss, Len. Okay, whatever.
There's a little diss, Roy. Another reason to be
Hey,
Team
do me a
Ed.
favor, right? Get that knife out of my back, would you please?
Roy, Team Ed would never give you shit about dissing me. Okay.
Hey, do me a favor. Get that knife out of my back, please. Thank you. Okay. I am fixing Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. I liked Man on the Silver Mountain. I like Self Portrait. I like Temple of the King. I like 16th Century Greensleeves. Still I'm Sad was a violation. It was a Yardbirds cover. Ben Powell violation. Black Sheep of the Family was a Quartermass cover. That's another violation. Ben Powell violation. Okay.
Scott,
But it's a 70s sound and was different than the other two, which I liked.
yeah.
I liked it. I mean, after listening to Heaven and Hell and the Dio album, I was like, but then this was a pleasant break. You know, I wish I kind of like listened to this second than the other two, but I didn't. So anyway, but I'm blasting Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath. But let me say, this is a Black Sabbath album, but it's a Dio album. I mean, this sounds nothing like Black Sabbath, nothing like Ozzy Osbourne's Black Sabbath. I would kind of compare it to David Lee Roth's Van Halen, to Sammy Hagar's Van Halen. You know what I'm saying? It like kind of compare it. You know, there was an Ozzy Black Sabbath and there was a Dio Black Sabbath. I remember going into a record store, Ed. It was probably Jolly's. I don't know. And I was like, oh wow, there's a new Black Sabbath album, Heaven and Hell. And I looked. I'm like, oh, Ozzy's not on here. I didn't buy it. I didn't buy it. You know what I mean? I mean, at the time, you know, I just didn't buy it. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever. So
you have no idea what you're getting into.
right.
At that point.
Didn't know what I was getting into, so I was like, I'll pass. You know, I liked the album cover. It was a pretty cool album cover. You know, I like Children of the Sea. Heaven and Hell was a great freaking song. I love that song. Die Young and Lonely is the Word are my favorites off of here. I like 4 songs off of here.
Wait, did you say Neon Nights?
No, I did not say Neon Nights.
You do not like Neon Nights.
It's okay. It's a second tier song. It's a second tier song for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my God!
It's a good song. I'm not saying it's not a bad song.
You're
I'm not saying
entitled-
I'm not saying I would throw it off the album, Ed.
You're entitled to your wrong opinion.
Whatever. I'm not saying I would throw it off the album. It's a second tier song for me.
How could you crush Neon?
I'm not crushing it.
No,
I'm just saying I don't like it as much as the
pleading
other.
to the audience.
Okay, whatever. So there's actually 4 songs I like off of Heaven and Hell, and there's 4 songs I like off of Richie Blackmore's Rainbow. I thought I was, because Richie Blackmore's Rainbow had more of a 70s sound than a Dio sound, 80s sound kind of thing. But I kind of, there's too much good stuff on Heaven and Hell that I'm blasting Heaven and Hell. I'm fixing Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, and I'm trashing Dio's Last in Line. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Roy says he agrees with me. Wow.
Roy, you'll be convinced your opinion is wrong, and so is his.
I have great reasons for everything I'm about to do right now.
Projectile vomit?
Actually, I have one good reason for what I'm doing first, which is I'm blasting Dio Last in Line.
Whoa!
Yeah. Listening to this, I did not remember how much I liked this record. One Night in the City, Last in Line. I love the slow opening, then it kicks and boom. We Rock, Evil Eyes, great freaking songs. The one song I don't like so much is the closing track, Egypt. It's a little bit epic-y attempt. So I'm blasting. I love it. The one thing I noticed, I don't remember this as far as band lineup. So the drummer in this band is Vinny Appice.
Right.
Is it Carmine Appice?
It's Carmine Appice's brother.
Yes, and Carmine Appice is a drummer as well.
Yes.
Correct. Well, just want to make sure I have that straight. I'm blasting Dio. I love this record. I loved it. Loved it. Loved it. I am trashing Heaven and Hell. Wow. And this is where my reasons get a little sketchy.
We're way off on that.
So I love Neon Nights as a song, Ed.
I'm not saying I didn't like it. I'm sorry, but it's not.
Okay.
Don't kowtow to me,
second
man.
tier.
You dissed it, man.
Second. I didn't diss it. I just said it was a second tier song.
Talk to the hand.
Yeah. Your time's over.
Right.
You,
Go ahead.
you gave your opinion, and it was wrong.
Children of the Sea, Heaven and Hell are great songs.
Bill, I lost all respect for you. You walked out on Kiss, so you know.
Yeah. I mean,
whatever you say,
we really have to
forget
hug
it.
We're gonna have to hug it out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do
After
something.
the show.
We're gonna have to do something.
So why I'm trashing this is because all right, of course Tony Iommi's guitar player is bad. My band was opening for a band fronted by Tony Iommi's son back in the 2000s. They showed up and spent an hour setting up their equipment and bitching at the sound person and spending all his time figuring everything out and not letting anyone else get on stage. And then after doing all of that, they walked up to the owner and said, "You know what? We're not playing tonight." And they took all their equipment and
Get the hell out of here.
I am serious.
But that's a Sonda.
Hey, it's
The
right
apple
there.
doesn't far fall.
I knew that was
far
coming.
from the tree.
I knew that was
So,
coming. I knew that
fuck
was
those
coming.
guys.
Wow.
Because of Tony Iommi's son
That's because his son.
and Black Sabbath Heaven and Hell, I'm trashing.
well,
And the band's name was.
That's the most interesting.
Wow, that's
the most interesting reason you
talking
will
about
ever hear.
talking about going over here and then going there and
I believe I have to look this up. I didn't double check.
But you
this
never
up.
heard that story before. That's
I
a story.
believe the band's name was Cold.
Okay.
I will.
They left me kind of cold.
So screw those guys. So I'm fixing Richie Blackmore's Rainbow from 1975.
well, that's about the only thing we agree on.
Yep. I know. I
Oh,
love
Ben
this.
Powell is welcome.
Yo,
Ben.
Ben, what's going on,
buddy?
We've used your
Yo, what's
violation
up?
about 18
We've been
times.
doing the
tonight.
Ben
Yeah.
Powell violation, you know, and you weren't even here.
We woke
Yeah.
you up. So I'm fixing Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, which I love that record. But I hate the cover. It's the gayest cover of all time. Not
That
that
should
there's
not influence
Not
you.
that there's anything wrong
That
with
should
that.
not influence you on with
Fix
the
the
content.
cover. Fix the cover.
Never judge a book by its cover.
I always
Yeah, I
judge
mean,
the book by its cover. That is the rule of my life. So I'm fixing that. But I love that record. Richie Blackmore's Rainbow is a great record. And the time is yours. And welcome, Ben.
Yeah, so welcome, Ben. Yeah, you know, I think that's probably the most exuberant welcome Ben has ever received in his life.
Just so you know, you
never
have
going
a
back.
violation named after you. All right.
Yeah,
So you should be proud.
yeah. Don't comment, just lurk, okay? All right. So here's the opinions that matter. Mine. All right. I'm a big Dio fan, so I put these albums together. I'm like, these are 3 epic Dio albums. It's where Dio was introduced. Now, mind you, Dio had a band prior to Rainbow called Elf, and basically, what Rainbow was Elf with Richie Blackmore being the guitar player.
Gotcha.
So when they recorded this album, it was basically Richie Blackmore and Elf, which was Dio's band because Dio is very short, hence the
He's a
band
little
name
man.
Elf.
He's not a tall guy.
Okay, so when this album was going on, you know, Richie Blackmore with all his issues, ended up firing people and everything like that, and it was Dio. But the genesis of this band was Elf with Richie Blackmore.
Okay.
So that being said, I love Dio's voice. I think as far as hard rock is concerned, you do have somebody as strong as Ian Gillan. I mean, yeah, I could put in David Coverdale and I could put in Glenn Hughes and Jeff Scott Soto. But to me, what I like about Dio's voice is for such a small guy, it's frickin' powerful.
Yeah, but you can only take so much of it, though.
Well, that's you because
Because it sounds the
'cause I
same
know.
in every
Well, no.
freaking song.
I know because it's not Steve Perry or your Lou Gramm or it's not.
Ed, didn't you see Dio solo
I saw-
at the PNC Art Center or something like that?
I saw Dio. Well, first off,
late in his career, right before he died.
well,
if I remember.
first I saw Dio on the Heaven and Hell tour. I saw Black
that
Sabbath,
crappy.
and the opening act on Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell tour with Dio was Sammy Hagar. And when I saw Dio doing solo stuff, it was Motorhead was the opening act, then Dio, then Iron Maiden at the PNC Center.
That was nice.
And that was 2010 or something like that.
Yeah, but,
But when I
there's
first-
only,
but when
there's
I-
only so much of this you can take.
When
you know what I mean?
Right. Well,
Says you.
and I got into Dio on Rainbow stuff back in the day, and Dio also sang on Curry Livgren's solo album, Christian solo album,
Okay.
which I talked to Curry, and I said, "How do you feel that Ronnie James Dio sang on your song, Mask of the Great Deceiver, and To Live for the King, 2 religious songs?" And he did Heaven and Hell,
Okay.
Black Sabbath. It's like, well, you know, it is what it is.
Right.
So, that being said, for me, I am blasting Dio's Last in Line because at that point,
Oh my God!
at that point, that to me, you had Holy Diver, which was a really good solo Dio album.
Are my ears clogged or
and
something?
Sacred Something, that's the album after that. Dio, the last
What do you
line,
guys
We
listen-
Rock. The last line, Breathless, I Speed at Night.
What do you
this
guys
is
listen
This
to?
is stuff that I had cranked up all the time. I do agree with the Egypt, The Chains Are On was a little like, okay. It was the last song, it's kind of like, I got through all these other songs, boom.
I
all
give
right.
up. I give up.
You
I
should
don't know what
get-
you guys are listening to.
Says the Kiss fan. Okay. All right. I am fixing Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. Neon Knights, Children of the Sea, Lady Evil, Heaven and Hell. Side 1 is absolutely great. Side 2 is good. For me, you have Man on the Silver Mountain, Catch the Rainbow, and this is a really close call on all of this, because to me, Ronnie,
like
Ronnie
self-portrait,
James,
like?
What's that?
Self-portrait.
Self-portrait, yeah. But the whole thing with Dio is, Dio could have sang Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And to me, it would have been awesome. The guy, he just had power in his voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Like.
Thank you.
So,
Down the city.
You gotta do the horns.
so that being said, I understand it's not Steve Perry,
This
Dennis
is going off the
or
deep
Dennis
end.
DeYoung.
It's getting late.
It's 11:30.
It's getting
so,
late.
You know,
It's getting late.
So again, I would say this is another victory for Team A. I mean,
So what are you doing? So what's your final
I
verdict?
don't.
here?
I've never
You're
heard
blasting.
the rankings.
I am blasting Last in Line.
So you're in
Yeah,
agreement
we're
with
together.
Okay.
I'm with you on that.
I am fixing Heaven and Hell.
And you were dumped
I'm-
Heaven and Hell,
I
right?
dumped Heaven and Hell
Okay.
because
Yeah,
of
but
his
that's-
fucking
So
son.
so we're
Yeah. Well, it's because of
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
trashing Rainbow, but it's a very thin line on my fix and dump.
okay.
Okay, so we're going
So
on
we
to
were
the
we were a little different there.
we're a little different everywhere.
The blasting you guys were in agreement, but the trash
Nothing
and
else.
the trash and fix
Right.
we were. a
Well,
little,
you trashed Dio's.
I
last
trashed it.
night.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You suck.
But I've got ears. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean.
Based on that, I'm curious where the hell we're going with this last
No,
set.
with Dio,
very
wait,
curious.
with Dio, if Dennis DeYoung sung Dio or Steve Perry sung those songs, you'd be like, oh yeah, they sound nice. Yeah,
But you're comparing all three Dio songs with
Stop it.
albums with
Stop.
one another.
stop it.
Okay, whatever.
So, our last grouping of the night.
I'm
Oh,
very
I'm gonna go
curious to
first- I'm
see
gonna
where
go
the
first
frick
on
we're
this.
going with this.
Going first on this one.
I'm curious based on
Last.
that last set.
Yeah, well, I already know where we're going here. It's like, so.
All right, Bill, you want to go first?
No, but let's introduce the
Bill
albums.
wants to go first. Oh, I'm sorry.
We should need
That's right. We got to introduce the albums first. Yeah. Where are we at?
Wow.
Okay.
So-
Agent of Fortune, Bluish
Bluish
for Gold,
Gold.
1976.
1 million sold.
Click on that, buddy.
There we go.
Hair of the Dog, Nazareth,
1 million
1975.
sold.
And last but not least, Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak, 1976.
500,000 sold.
So we got a 75 and two 76ers. 76ers.
Sixers.
Hey.
You're 7.
10, 9, 8, 76ers. Okay.
So, that being said, I think because I'm going to need to bring sanity to this,
Oh, you can go last again.
I will go last
Okay.
again.
You go last,
I
I'll
will
go
be
So
the
we'll go
last in line.
Wow, look at that.
Little Dio there.
Yeah, okay. All right. So, okay, Bill. You want to
All
go
right,
first on
so
this?
I mean, this is going to be kind of quick. Maybe, I don't know. So we got Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak, 1976. This was their 6th record. And what I didn't know about their history, this was like a last chance for them. Their previous 2 records sold, shit, and this was kind of like, all right, you guys.
This was their third release?
6.
Oh, sixth.
Yeah, but 4 and 5 releases were crap.
Okay.
So the record company was like, this one better sell or else you're done.
Right, which it did.
And it
Yeah.
did. Jailbreak, Boys Are Back in Town. I also like Fight or Fall and Running Back. I really like this record. So I am fixing it because of those songs. Need a couple more songs to make it fill out. So I'm going to fix it. 2, Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, 1975. Sixth record. Of course, got Hair of the Dog. You've got a song called Guilty, which isn't bad. And then also, I realized why is this...
but Guilty was an international edition. It wasn't on US
really?
release.
Did I fall into that trap again?
It was a Randy Newman song.
That's what I wanted to
Yeah.
get to. It's like,
Right.
fucking Randy Newman wrote a Nazareth song?
But it was an international addition to the album, so I don't know if that can be
When was it on the record when it came out?
international. It wasn't on the US release.
Well, regardless.
Whatever. Okay.
And of course, you got Love Hurts. And that was written by someone called
The
Bordeaux Bryant.
But it was an Everly Brothers cover. Originally,
Was it really?
Bordeaux Bryant.
Love Hurts was actually written by Graham.
Graham
No.
Parsons.
No, that was Beggars.
Parsons? Graham Parker?
There's a lot of violations
Graham
on this.
Nash?
Put it this way, there's a lot of violations on this
Alright.
album.
So the one story I have about Nazareth is that when I was a student in college, I studied Russian, and I did a semester abroad in Russia, which at that point was the Soviet Union. It was 1991. It was still the Soviet Union at that point. And me and a friend of mine were walking down the street, and there's this big banner across the street. And it's all written in Cyrillic and everything like that. It's like, okay, what the hell is this banner about? What is this? Nazareth. It was a banner saying Nazareth was playing like the Civic Auditorium in Moscow that night.
Mhm.
So I saw I saw Nazareth in Moscow
Cool.
in 1991.
Nice.
And they put on a great show, and it's cool. But still, I'm going to trash this record because why not? And I am blasting Agents of Fortune. It's an amazing record. Even from the hits, of course, you got Don't Fear the Reaper. But all
He
the
wants
other-
my reaction.
Yep.
Or he smell my fart. I don't know.
No,
One
no,
or the
I'm
other.
just looking at you like,
Exactly.
okay.
So
I'm being stoned.
is this
Yeah, I
possibly
know you are.
fodder for them?
Your poker
This-
face,
This
right?
might be fodder for people to talk over, but I'm blasting Agents of Fortune, and that.
Okay.
That is what I've got.
All right, so I'm next. Okay. So Scott Silverman says neither of these albums had that many hits, maybe 2 on each. Tough call. Yes, it is. a tough
Scott,
call.
I'll bring you home.
All right, okay, whatever, okay.
You'll be team mad.
So anyway, let's right off the bat, Blue Oyster Cult, Agent of Fortunes, 1976. I'm dumping this album.
Well,
This did nothing for me. I mean, like I listened to everything that we were going to talk about.
Mhm.
I went through this album. Don't Fear the Reaper, obviously, great song. Tattoo Vampire, maybe. I have a maybe on this. Other than that, there's nothing on here. I wish Godzilla was on here.
go Godzilla.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. I'm dumping this. There's only like maybe 2 songs I liked off this whole album. It did nothing for me, so I'm dumping it. Okay. So, Hair of the Dog, Nazareth, 1975. There's a couple violations on here. Few. Beggar's Day was a grin cover.
What kind of violations are they?
I'm telling you. Beggar's Day
Cover?
was a grin cover. It's a Ben Pal violation.
Ben Pal violation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rose in the Heather was a Lenny violation, which was an instrumental. And Love Hurts was an Everly Brothers cover. Originally, how do you pronounce that?
Bordeaux
Bordeaux Bryant.
Yeah, something like that.
That's a
Bordeaux.
Ben Pal violation. Okay, so there's 3 violations on here. But even though there's 3 violations on here, I like Hair of the Dog, Miss Misery, great start to the album. Please Don't Judas Me, I like that song. So, I mean, I like Love Hurts, but it's a violation.
Right.
I like 3 tracks on here. I'm fixing this. I'm blasting Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy. I love this album. Jailbreak, Warriors. I'm surprised you didn't mention Warriors. That is a favorite song of mine. I love that song by Thin Lizzy. Boys Are Back in Town, great big hit. Cowboy Song, I'm not normally like a country and western kind of guy, but the cowboy song, I love this song. And Emerald is another song I like. So there's 5 songs in here I like. I'm blasting Jailbreak. I'm fixing Hair of the Dog, and I am dumping Agent of Fortunes by Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, Robert, I agree, Robert. Even though it's a violation on Lenny's scale that it's a cover, they made Love Hurts like their
It's
own.
still a violation.
It's their own song now. It's almost a new song the way they
It's
did
his
it.
violation.
Wow,
now-
but Roy agrees with me. Wow. And he even went, wow.
Well,
so
well,
is
well,
that
wait now.
surprising, Roy?
Roy, you agree with him only because I have not given my piece of mind yet.
Yeah, but I mean, you know,
Stop!
based on what I'm
These
trashing
people,
and fixing.
they
fixing.
agree. They agree too soon. They need to wait till the wisdom, to the guru, to me.
Well, go ahead, Guru.
All right,
Do that Guru that you do. So
all right. Love all 3 of these albums. Owned all 3 of these
I
albums.
don't love all 3 of these albums.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I know it's not Steve Perry. It's not Dennis DeYoung. It's not Lou Graham.
Scott said, Ed, I'm waiting.
Yes.
So let's go.
Well, I keep
Let's
getting
go, Edward.
interrupted. All right. So, Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak, and I had a band. We played these songs. We played Jailbreak. We played the Cowboy song, and Emerald Warriors, and The Boys Are Back in Town. Obviously, is a great song. The problem I've always had with Thin Lizzy albums comes kind of the best way to compare is to Peter Frampton's solo albums prior to Frampton Comes Alive. The songs sounded okay until you heard the live album, and the live album kicked butt. So many of these songs on Thin Lizzy's live album, Live and Dangerous, just totally kicked ass on the album.
Disagree.
On this, the production in the studio,
Disagree.
I think, well, that's okay. It's good.
The problem with your premises is that these songs off this album did not become popular because of the live album like Frampton's did, and because of Kiss Alive
I'm
did.
just-
These songs, Jailbreak and The Boys Are Back in Town, were popular songs before the live album.
So what I'm saying, so what you're saying
So
is
you
there-
can't-
so,
you-
so, so wait,
so-
okay, all right, so
yeah,
so
they
you're
were the
saying
2 the biggest.
two songs,
They were the 2 the biggest hits off of here.
right, 2 songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the biggest hits off of
Yeah,
here.
but really the biggest hit is
Warriors
the Boys
was a
Are-
dynamite song. Emerald was good. Cowboy song was good. There's 5 songs of it. Warriors, come on, Ed. That's a great freaking song by them.
Okay,
How can you whatever? Okay, okay. You can't trash this album. I'm sorry.
I'm trashing this.
You can't, but you can't.
Okay.
I give up. I really give up. I don't even know why I do the show with you anymore. I really don't.
Because after this is all done, it'll be a group hug and it'll all be good. You know, I'll give you your money and you'll be like, okay.
Oh well, hey, money trumps everything.
Right. Of course it does. Which, you know, I wouldn't take any money from you to change my convictions, but
Okay.
that's me. Because you're not offering me. So, Hair of the Dog. Now, Hair of the Dog,
I can't wait for that.
Hair of the Dog, Miss Misery,
Right.
Changing Times,
No.
and Love Hurts. Side 1 was freaking amazing.
Love Hurts was a violation.
I don't care if it's a violation.
It's a violation.
It's a great
It wasn't their song. Okay.
It's a great version. To me,
Oh, I'm not saying it's not. It's not.
Well,
It's a good song. It's a great version. I agree with
So
you.
let's go to Blue Oyster Cult. Okay, and your misguided, ignorant,
Oh, come on,
ignorant
Ed.
ears.
This album
This-
blew.
This
Other
ain't-
than Don't Fear the Reaper,
Oh
this
my
album
God.
blew.
because you
It
didn't
blew
listen.
to high heavens. This blew.
This
Come
ain't
on.
the summer of love. Kicks.
No
Ass.
freaking way.
You did not listen to it.
Yes,
then.
I did listen to it.
Tattoo Vampire.
Yeah. Okay.
Kicks.
I kind of
ass.
like that song.
All right.
I can't. I don't disagree with you.
True Confessions. Good song. ETI. Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
No.
Kicks ass.
Godzilla belongs on here.
Okay. Sinful Love is another good song. Not the kick-ass song.
No.
This song, Debbie Denise, good song. All right. Agents of Fortune. I've had Agents of Fortune on vinyl, 8-track, cassette,
Well, that's your problem.
CD. I am blasting
That's your problem.
Agents of Fortune.
Wow, you're way
because
off.
it is.
You are way
If
off.
there's one Blue Oyster
No.
Cult album I'm going to make you
No.
listen to
No.
and say, here's Blue Oyster Cult, You listen to Agents of Fortune.
And if I bought this album back in the, which I didn't own, if I bought this album back in the day based on "Don't Fear the Reaper" because I really love that song, I would.
I Got a Fever, and
I
the
would-
only cure is
right.
more cowbell.
If I bought this album back in the day based on "Don't Fear the Reaper" song, I would have played it and then I would have proceeded to break it over
Oh
my
God!
freaking knee.
No, oh my God!
Why did I
you
buy
are-
this?
I'm telling you,
That's
anybody.
how much I don't like
If
this
you
album.
are not familiar with this album, Blue Oyster Cult,
yeah, go
Agents of
listen to
Fortune,
it and then you'll agree with me.
You
Come
won't.
on.
You won't. No. And I'm fixing Nazareth Hair to the Dog because this to me was one of the great albums. Again, did I own all three of these albums back in the day?
Wow, we
Yeah.
agree with something. Jeez, I'm fixing that too.
Oh, you seem a little agitated.
There's no way. How can you blast Blue Oyster Cult?
You fucking trashed Asia. You ignorant slut. It's like, how can I do this? Well, you know what?
There's no way.
Asia.
There's no way you
there's
can
3
blast.
songs on Asia.
I mean, if you said you were
Please.
going to blast Hair of the Dog, I'd be like, okay, you know what I mean. But
No.
to blast this freaking Blue Oyster Cult album based on one song, there was
No.
one song on here. Don't Fear the Reaper. Tattoo
This ain't the Summer
Vampire
Love.
was
True Confessions. ETI. Revenge of Jermaine.
no.
Sinful Love.
No, I'm
Tattoo
sorry.
Vampire.
I'm sorry.
Morning Fall. Tenderloin.
Yeah, Tattoo Vampire
Debbie Dennis.
maybe. No,
Great
no.
stuff.
Compared to these other two albums, no. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm dumping this. Big time dumping
I'm
this.
dumping you.
Okay.
At least until
Nope.
next.
No
At least
problem.
until next week.
Till next week. Okay.
Until next week. And then we start this shit all over again.
It's all good.
My God, I mean, this is he's arguing with me about this album.
It sucks.
When he trashed
It
Asia.
sucks.
And he said there's only 3 songs on the Asia album.
Right. 4 songs I liked on there. But we're comparing it to.
This is the reason why we both beat each other. Scott, oh my God, yeah, we do. We do. It's like, I mean,
It wouldn't be a fun show if we agreed on everything. Put it that way.
all right.
This
and
is
then-
why. This is why we do this.
Well, the reason why we started this in the beginning really was we're going back to 1974
Yeah.
when we were kids, and it's like he liked this by this group, but I like this, and then he he liked this band, but I like this band. Well, we didn't
Right.
hate the bands, but
Right.
it was just like we always were opposite. So we got together and we were listening to stuff, and it's like, well, we should do a podcast because we always disagree on things, and that's when I heard, we actually started out taking pictures of the albums we were playing,
Right.
side one,
Right.
and there were a couple times where he posted a couple things, and I'm like, nobody's going to react to this,
And they did.
And the missing persons
Yeah.
one was the biggest one,
Right.
where we got and I'm friends. I have done stuff with music, and there's a lot of music industry people who were like commenting on us. I'm like, wow, and there was a lot of interesting things
Right.
we learned.
So your
Yeah.
experience in the music industry,
Yeah.
you manage bands
Yeah.
and you know a lot of people.
Right.
I just love music.
Right.
And I like the same kind of music you do.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a fan of a lot of groups and a lot of stuff.
And
You
I
know,
think through this, I mean, there's been a mutual turning on of things that we haven't
Right.
liked, because I think you never heard Queensryche Operation Mindcrime prior
And
to
I love
this,
that album after I listened to it.
And it's like, that's why I wasn't, me and Bill were going to do this, and I said, no, let me see if Lenny, I said,
Yeah, why
and you were
not?
like, yeah, and I'm
I'll
like,
do
good.
anything. I don't
Right.
care. Like I told you,
Right.
I'll do 3 Andrea Bocelli albums. I'll do
And
anything.
you can't wait for that, I know it. I know it. So anyway, listen. So next week we're going to do one last version of Blast, Trash, and Fix. It's just going to be me and Lenny. I know already that Bill's not going to be able to make next week.
Aw.
So we're going to really we're
We're going to kill each other.
We're going to kill each other, and then in 2 weeks we're going to do our album draft, which we'll continue to post more stuff about that on our site. And we have 4? I think we got that. Boom, boom. Yeah, we have 4 episodes left for the
Yeah,
season.
we're going to go
2.
like probably the weekend before
May 11th. Yeah, May 11th. No, May
No, we're going to
11th
even
is
go before that.
May 11th is our last show of the season.
Okay, we're going to have to talk about that.
Well, you want to go further?
No, well, I'll talk. I'll
Yeah.
talk about that after.
Well, it's April 13th now, so we're doing
I know,
April 20th.
but I'm not going to be around May 11th.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Okay, then we'll
So-
we'll make May 4th our
Yeah,
season
whatever.
finale.
Okay.
All right.
I thought we were going to go the weekend after Labor Day. I mean, after Memorial Day. I'm sorry. That weekend before Memorial Day weekend. I thought that's how we ended last season.
We'll
Whatever. Okay. We'll talk about it.
We're having arguments now.
Okay.
But so anyway, we do appreciate everybody watching, and next week we got one more batch of stuff coming up, and then we got a draft, and then we got Blast Fest. We have all kinds of stuff prepared for that,
Right.
and we do appreciate it, and hope to see you again next week.
See you guys.
Later.
Thanks for joining in.